Buonasera a tutti. Good evening. And this is Fate's Grip.
Wow,
Poopity poopity. What?
that was an interesting intro.
Oh, was it? Oh, I thought it was okay. I'm Michele. I'm your DM. These are amazing players. High above
You're
me.
actually our DM.
Oh, fair. And I was directing at you. This evening's episode is called Abracadabra.
Why do you say it like that? What's it actually called?
It's actually called Abracadabra. Didn't think you got that?
Yeah, but you said it with an accent.
Oh, sure. Well, it's spelled differently when it. Thank you very much, Dad. I appreciate it. Hey, Talera. Jumps on. 2 thumbs up. Love it. I don't know why I said it like that. Maybe that it's an omen. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, where are my cards? Oh, well.
Oh, yeah. Your cards.
Oh. Where are they?
Oh, sup, nerd. Look, I'm doing pretty well tonight. I'm excited for this evening. I think we should go into some shout-outs, and I might start with you, Mr.
Yeah, right off
Sheldon.
the bat, because he's in the chat.
He's in the chat.
We are very excited to be giving away another amazing t-shirt from the wonderful Aeon Craft.
Woo!
This time we're going to be giving away the Classic Love t-shirt. None of that new love, only Classic Love. You can get your hands on one of those by by commenting on a tweet, which we will have pinned. You can also use a code word, which we're going to drop later on in the stream, to get yourself an extra entry.
Maybe.
Maybe.
100%.
I'm joking.
100%.
Oh no, if we don't drop it, then don't worry about it.
We will.
And if you don't want to run the risk of missing out and not winning the competition, you can go to aeoncraft.com.au and buy one for yourself. And I do recommend you do, because they're pretty dope shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all colourful and stuff. They're great. Nice. Hey, would you like to have a chat? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll just type it all in the chat. Does that sound good?
No. It's a couple of paragraphs.
Yeah, excuse me for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Couple of different shout outs. The first one, just because they're in the chat, is to Talera. I don't know if you guys know this, but on Monday, yesterday,
Time flies.
it was Tammy's 12-month anniversary subscribing to us. Thank you so much, Tammy. Very much appreciate you and all of your support, and I'm sure that means that it's also Ham's 12 months. So thank you, Ham, also. But yeah, very, very much appreciate anyone who tunes into us and gives 5 seconds of their time. So thank you.
Yeah.
I do have to give a massive shout out to the weekend that was. Thank you to Meeples and Dragons and Unroleplay for having me at BrizCon over the weekend. So if you don't know what BrizCon is, it's a Brisbane local community convention for TTRPG, tabletop, D&D, all of the stuff. And I got to go and hang out with the Meeples and Dragons guys and help them sell their amazing wares and meet some amazing people from the community. So big thanks to Sarah and John for having me, and big thanks for letting me stand near your dice for 2 days straight, in which I then left with two new sets of dice. So thank you very much. And Sheldon also left with a set of dice.
I wasn't there, but I got dice.
Day one, within the first hour, Sheldon was like, yeah, I want those dice. So thank you for those. Huge thank you to the team at Arden Roleplay. I haven't met any of them in person until then, so that was just such a really nice thing. Especially Soren, Ralph, and Jacob, who were all there, and then Adam, their photographer, as well. You can see some fun little snaps of me hanging out at their booth, all that sort of stuff. Next person I got to shout out is Aussie Widgets, who make laser cut wood terrain, and also we got dice jails. So found these guys at BrizCon. They're super fun. So anytime I roll poorly, it's going in the jail tonight. They also have little slogans on top. It's lots of fun. Last but not least, we had our first ever encounter of someone in the wild being like, hey, it's been so much fun watching your stream, which was just a really surreal moment. I think I floated out of my body for a second because I turned into a stun mullet. But thank you to Maple Dragon from Reflex Saves for coming to say hi and having a chat and asking how to pronounce Michele's name. It was a lot of fun.
Michelle's fine.
But yeah, check out Reflex Saves as well. I think that's everyone. Is there anyone else I mentioned?
Well, you mentioned all of them.
Cool.
Didn't
Fabulous. If you want to come see us do what I did all weekend, you can come on down to Melbourne in October and hang out with us at PAX, where we'll be
Drunk.
yeah, pretty much.
In the late the evening.
And
yes.
maybe in the day if we drank too much the night before. And definitely on the flight down because me and Michaela are scared of flying.
Yeah. Don't like it.
John did say, have you and Michaela thought about driving? And I was like, no. And Sarah was like, no.
I'm sure John just doesn't want to hear the panic and screams as we go down safely to Melbourne on the plane.
I like how you said safely. I was like, what are you?
Oh dear, that's fantastic. Thanks.
Wow, Aircraft.
Wow, yeah, it's true.
Mm.
Look, road trip is
Oh my god, we could get Tammy and Ham on the way. We could swing by D20 as well. Just like do a road trip down the.
yeah.
It's true.
Oh, that's someone write that down. That's how we have to market it moving forward.
That's really good.
The
That's,
Fates
yeah.
trip to PAX.
Yep. And people think we are now
It's a
called
joke,
Fates
huh?
Trip.
But
Oh, sorry, we're in
we'll dick
game.
around too much and never actually get there.
Yeah, that's all right. Stop off too many times. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. Let's go into our intro and then we'll recap the session. So, everybody, we will see you all soon. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Can we shout out Maple Dragon really quickly for coming to say hi to me over the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hydrated.
And there's your hydro.
Solidarity.
There's your
I
home.
you like multiple times a day and I don't get shouted at.
Yeah, well, you're a piece of shit, so.
Fair
I'll
enough.
say hello. I
Fair
get shouted
enough.
at.
Beautiful. Okay. So, let's recap. Whoa. A city in repair. Tremors
More like
causing. Yes, that's right. Tremors causing the mountaintops to shake, destroying two races' homes, the humanoids and the giants. You entered with the welcome of the last cloud giant in Vim, Medea Air Searcher, and found yourselves fighting a grotesque giant-like thing for the amusement of Goreslag, the lord of the fire giants in these mountains, who seemed to have taken over the city instead of helping it side by side with the populace. After defeating the pit thing, you spoke to Goreslag, who presented some findings deep within this destroyed home of the giants, of a desk with magical items and a skeleton who had fangs, and those seemingly dead reached out and grabbed your wristhook, suddenly holding you fast. As you all watch, the instant that this creature just holds your wrist firm in place, two things need to happen and do happen simultaneously. I need you to make me a grapple check to get out of this. So that would be the acrobatics or strength, whatever you prefer, while this thing does a strength check against you. At the same time, you see just a blindingly fast Fire Lord giant just in one movement scream, "But!" And with this hammer that just swings ever so elegantly up and above his head, he comes crashing down, trying to slam a precise point where the desk and the skeleton is. But I do need for everyone to also make me a dexterity saving throw. What did you get for your...
What?
I'm making good use of the dice jail because I rolled that one.
I also rolled a nat 1. Meets beats. You get out of this. You can see it.
Really?
100%. Meets beats.
Hey, I rolled a nat 20.
Because you try to get out of it and I rolled a 1. You can see it here.
Did you roll?
If it helps.
Rolled an
Acrobatics.
11.
Did you roll a 10?
Amazing.
Like straight in the middle?
I rolled an 11.
We rolled
Oh
nat
my
20.
god. Do I need to roll?
All right, you still need to roll me a dexterity saving throw. You wouldn't have been able to if you didn't get out of this grapple.
I don't trust this dice, but
Well done. 13 and 2 20s. Okay.
Well, natural 20s plus.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was 23 in total.
Far out.
what am I rolling?
You're rolling a dexterity saving throw. To get out of the blast wave as this huge hammer just crashes down and sends you and the splinters sprawling away.
So I went from a 1 to a 2, so that's going in there.
Is
So
that the
that's
one that rolled you like 4 nat 20s last night, though?
no, that was Banshee's, but
Wow. Min-max not indeed.
so that's a total of, I'm pretty sure it's a 7.
A 7? Okay. Velo and Hood, you both take 8 points of bludgeoning damage. As you're not in the direct impact point, but you are very, very close to the splintered table that just explodes outward, and it hits both sides. One hitting each of you in the face and just sending you and Velo and you Hood just sprawling along the floor. Unmoving is Medea, the cloud giant, who just simply looks impassively at this scene. But this fire giant is enraged.
With a nat 20, considering we left last session with me just eyeballing Medea and like
Yep.
not breaking eye contact,
Yep.
can I just like, cool guys, don't look at explosions, like back turn to the table, continuing eye contact and just kind of like step to the side as something goes
And you actually you dodge the table that then hits Velo. And this thing just bounces and just crashes behind you into Velo and just sends you into the ground, Velo.
So cool.
A huge just thunderclap of sound just echoes around, and the rubble that is caused is plentiful. There's thousands of pieces of splintered wood. Although the items on the table, although they have just been flying in all directions, land safely and undamaged, it seems, from where your vantage point is. You pick yourselves back up, and this Fire Giant Goreslag hasn't moved from his position of attacking this table. This huge hammer is still embedded in the earth that's sort of also split this rock and marble open that was the floor. And underneath it, underneath this hammer, is just a mixture of splintered wood and bones, crushed. And you can just see this. You hear. And this fire giant who, now that you're picking yourselves back up, you feel the heat, and you all just start profusely sweating from this fire giant's aura of flame that emanates from the beard, and it just looks towards you all.
I think you got it.
None of my city will be harmed by this thing. What was it? Just seething through. You can see this steam is just coming from the mouth.
I think it was a desk.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not entirely sure what it was.
Anything that is a threat to Wolf will suffer under my weapon. Now, I And he sort of stretches back up and very elegantly just places the warhammer behind him into some sort of pouch on his back. And slowly turns and walks back up to his large chair, the throne, and sits back down, leaning against his warhammer. Although you can see that there's a bit of shaking happening in his arms and hands, one of readiness, anticipation.
Of all the items, is there one which is nearest to me?
The one closest to you is that simple-looking stick.
I'm going to pick it up.
As you look at it, it's only a couple of steps away from you, and as you pick it up, you feel that blood from that wound on your arm just start to move down, and it's a drip from your wrist and the claw. And as you pick it up, you see that it's sort of covering a little bit as well on the actual piece of stick that's glowing slightly, but otherwise undamaged.
The last time you picked up something ominous from the ground, you might have bound yourself to a spirit, so maybe don't.
Yeah, but you can't do that twice, can you?
Well, you probably can.
Can you?
Hold on, that was Emily's voice there.
Yeah, I'm asking the DM. Would I know whether you can bond your soul to like two fucking things?
Make an arcana check.
That was Emily that said that. By the way.
Yeah, I know. I heard it. That does not count towards the.
Doesn't count towards
No.
the swear jar.
How is this one, Joe?
Worse off than the brudger.
Good project.
What am I rolling?
Arcana.
That is a 17.
A 17. Okay. You are aware from just reading a couple of books and hearing your conversations that happened even over dinner, that in your younger years, that you certainly can, and in fact you can bind yourself with plentiful amounts of magical items at once. It's called focusing and I guess connecting with them in a way. Those are the sort of words that you've heard specifically.
You can definitely do it.
Well, it's too late now. I observed the stick in my hand. Do you want to take it for my safety?
No, I just think maybe you should think before you do things.
No. I'm gonna address our overeager, am I happy fire giant friend.
Mm-hmm.
Please remind me of his name. I'm so sorry.
Goreslag.
Goreslag. I don't think you even destroyed any of these items. You seem to have killed a skeleton and the desk, and me. Hurt me as well.
You see a glance from the Fire Lord towards Medea, the Cloud Giant, and she looks back at you and she says, "We will tend to that."
Like now?
Now would be good.
Me or the wand? What do you mean that?
She does look back towards Goreslag, who takes out from a pouch in his kilt what looks to be a small barrel. In fact, to you it's a normal sized barrel, but in his hands it's minute. And he puts it down onto the floor in front of you. And echoing through the room, even with his softer voice, he says, "In there will be poultices and healing items for you."
How stupid is the word poultice?
That means.
But
I certainly do, but why don't you tell us, Luna, just to double check?
Does Sid look like that right now?
yeah,
Yep.
You look really stupid.
Well, if you're so smart, tell us what a poultice is.
It's a small bird. You put the bird on your head and pull the wings down over your ears. Cures ailments.
No, that's a tabernacle.
I'm gonna reach in. Is there a health potion in there? What I know to be a health potion in there?
Yeah.
all right. As you as the lid is open, and you open the lid, and you both sort of go to it at the same time and look inward. There are sort of half trays. So the first level of trays, there does seem to be a good 7 vials or small flasks, which does seem to have this clear, shimmering liquid inside, which you would note be potentially potions of healing.
I'll hand one over and drink one.
So there are 7 of them.
You said bombs and stuff.
And then below that, on the other side of the barrel, there is openly what looks to be rolled up cloth and balms and creams and things like that to aid in, I guess, patching up wounds.
I'm going to swig down one of those potions and
Okay.
just open up a balm and gather up some bandages and things. Maybe if I can replenish my healing kit.
You can. With the items in there, you actually double the healing kit.
I don't want to hear about this healing kit ever
You
again.
double it.
And
You both regain 6 health.
I drink another one.
there's another one.
Another one.
All right. So
There's,
there will be
3 left.
there will be 3 left once you do that. Thank you
Could
for
I
the
have
math.
one?
Yeah, sure. Here.
You both regain another 5.
I drink one.
Villo, do you mind? And I hand him the balm
What?
and I turn my back to it and I'm like, I think I've got a wound here. Just rub it in a little bit.
How clean is he?
It's been a little while since
picture's
you've
dry.
since you've bathed.
No, I pressed the digitation thing.
Oh, you did. So the smell is not there. Looking at it, there's a little bit of gunk and stuff from the pit's battle
I'd have
with
my
this
blood
creature.
clumping up in my fur.
True.
Yeah, sure. I'll start applying poultice. Come on, I'll start applying some of the balms
Okay.
to your back. I'll go.
A little lower, Villo.
It's a good plan. Pull yourself up for the next time you fight something like that.
Sometimes it rubs on my leather armor. It's a bit of chafing.
Yeah, you get that.
You regain another point of healing if you needed it from the application of the balms. And you do feel that your arms are sort of wrapped up nice and snug now.
Could you rub it
That'd
on
be
maybe 10 more
unproductive.
times?
Would that work if I just kept applying?
You would use up the remaining if you did it one more time.
I've got about another go at it. Do you want me to use it?
Yes.
Yes.
As you are applying this balm to
As well.
this
Not
balm,
so
sorry,
low,
balm,
Villo.
to
Try to slip it in.
to Hood.
It's not me. I showed him both my hands.
Sid's just like,
Yeah.
Behind your legs.
You suddenly don't know where that touch is coming from anymore, Hood. After looking at Velo's hands.
How's Goreslag looking? Is he?
Well, I was
enjoying
going to say, he doesn't seem particularly interested in the scene in front of him. But what he is doing is speaking.
I'm just like standing there like,
Yeah. Well, you're listening to Goreslag as he speaks while this interaction is happening at the moment.
Cool.
Thanks. It's just how I've always done it.
Feels fresh.
Well, it's as fresh as the inside of underneath the giant's kilt is.
Is that mint? Is that what I smell?
Could be lint. It was up under that kilt for a while.
Thank you, Villo.
Yuck.
I don't know what that thing was. Medea conjured it. It became alive. It was not supposed to. An image was procured here, under the control.
Do you mean the skeleton or wash meat?
Wash meat was.
Disgusting.
It was a bit on the nose, yes.
Yeah.
Was it a bit on the nose?
In my nose.
fellow giant kin, which inhabit and barely survive off anything it eats. But I was speaking of the skeleton. Medea produced it here, but it was supposed to be an illusion. Considering this, and in trade for my help here in Wove, perhaps you can offer your services to me.
In exchange for.
Well, and you can see that the giant sort of leans back a little bit as though ready to parley. You have come to Wove, you are seeking something. I know of that which you are seeking.
We're actually just here to help out the town, and yeah, everything went bad.
What
So
about
thanks for
this?
that.
Because of this new effect, I am wary of my kin who might be in danger because of this. He sort of gestures towards this broken desk. If you were to help find as to why this happened, and if there are is any evidence of any more like this, I will give back the city.
I mean, you still need a place to live, right? I'm not saying take over the city, I'm just saying maybe don't rule it like a dictator. You could share the city with the people that were here.
That would suffice, especially when there are dangers there where my home is that could be similar to
But
what
you
we have
have to be
seen.
nice to everyone. You can't just throw people in pits and make them fight meat.
There will be no more battle for our amusement if you were to come back with information.
Right, so what kind of information are you looking for? Leads on these undead creatures?
Yes. Go forth. Find evidence of those lost, if you can. Find any idea. Go to my home. I will lead you through. And there, hopefully you can see why this has occurred. Come back with information.
The only thing I noticed before you discreetly ended the undead creature was as soon as I got close to it, its heart started beating a lot faster.
I did not see a heart in it.
That's what I saw before I so elegantly evaded your hammer.
The fire giant now lurches up again and now looks at this hole in the ground where the bones are crushed in one place. There's just no discerning what's a rib anymore versus what's an arm.
We saw Hood get grabbed
Yes.
too, didn't we? We all
Yes.
did.
and this fire giant just is quite peering just a meter or so away at this pit.
Is there anything about the scene that was remind me of the vision I had?
Nothing.
Two fangs and
There's with your brief look, I mean the teeth look similar, but this one had many more.
yeah.
Many more. That's all it had. These sharpened, long spikes of teeth.
Okay, so it's his whole jaw.
Yeah, whole jaw.
Okay. As he goes to lift his or check out the damage on my joint and see is the orb and the books and just...
Looking around, the magical items that were identified are still scattered around the floor, far away. But then you see Bello obviously have the stick.
Yeah.
But yes, they're intact.
There's a book on the table as well, wasn't
There
there?
was. Make me an investigation check to check all that out.
12.
A 12. You find the remaining magical items, which you collect. Do you want to collect them?
Yeah, I'll pick them up.
Yep, you pick them up. Though, looking at this corpse, which was a moving skeleton, you don't seem to see where the teeth nor the heart is anymore as two identifying pieces of this thing. You assume that the teeth were crushed, just absolutely decimated. The heart, you'd assume you could see some sort of idea of blood or just a splatter or something like that. Nothing. And you had a fairly good look. You haven't picked up pieces to look underneath others, but you had a good look at the scene without touching it.
Yeah, okay. Where are the magical items I collect?
You collect a book, an orb,
Yeah.
this stick,
Try and hand over.
a cluster of crystals which smell particularly sweet. And the cluster's sort of not shaped in any particular form, but it does start at a bit of a round ball-like thing, which then have these spikes of crystals that almost look like they're growing out of this orb. And it's quite heavy, but it's small. The book, the orb, the stick, and the crystals.
Yeah, I guess. The book itself, can I read anything in it?
Looking inside, if you're opening it up,
Yeah.
you notice that inside the book there is writing of just common. Would you like me to tell you out loud that you're going to tell everybody, or would you like me to send it to you so you can keep it a secret?
No, I don't. I think I would share it with them.
Okay.
Would you?
You'll share it immediately.
Yeah, I don't have a reason to keep
Okay.
it hidden.
As you read it, it speaks of the beginning, the testing of the other items that you've picked up. This experiment seemed to be concluding that magic seems to be able to be pushed into these items. And as magic that this text has been saying comes from the very earth, the very grass, the dirt, everything in Vim seems to be infused with magic. So saturated that there's not much effort that's needed to imbue an item with powerful enchantments. But what if you found an item of magic and could take it away? Take the magic away from the item. What would happen? Where would it go? Would you absorb it and you yourself be a more powerful magician, magic user? Would it simply go back into the earth?
Abracadabra.
Would it go into the nearest conduit? What would happen to it? These are questions that are written in cursive, and you can see that there's also some text about this experiment beginning. Day 1. Attempts, failures upon failures. Imbuing an item, no trouble. Taking it away, unheard of. And all that this book is talking about is fey magic, or magic that whoever the writer was or is seems to understand this magic coming from. The pages are perfect. They don't have any signs of wear. Age hasn't suffered them. The ink as though just written. So it's very hard to know how old the book is, let alone everything around it.
Is there any context to say that this person was successful at extracting?
Looking through more, every day, more failures. Until the last excerpt, where the one word you see, and that's all you see, is day 744. Every single day, no pause. The one word you see is simply success.
And that's where it ends. Is there anywhere in the book that says the owner of or signature?
No. Nowhere that you've seen. You've clicked through. The rest of the book is blank. You go. There are probably about 1,000 pages, so you're probably about 2/3 of the way through. No evidence of an author.
Cool. And as I said before, I guess I'm reading this out loud so these guys know what I'm reading.
Yep.
Does Goreslag have any reaction to Madeira?
Medea? No. They both are listening, but you don't notice that there's a reaction because you're reading them. You're reading through and you're not looking up. At the end, you look up and they seem impassive.
Yeah.
You're not sure if they don't understand what you're reading out loud, or they're just trying to hide their reaction.
And apologies, I've written it. Madeira?
Meddia. Medea.
Medea.
Yeah.
She has a tapping of some kind of magic user, doesn't she?
Yes.
Medea, what would you make of such an experiment if someone was able to extract power from you?
I would say, and she sort of takes a step forward as this fire giant has still, distracted by your words, he did seem to look up towards you as you were reading impassively, to say he's quite close. That heat still overcoming you with just this, you all find yourself starting to breathe heavily, trying to get fresh air in. But as she does take a step forward, this cloud giant says, I would seem that if someone were to gain power from items, from magic, be able to use this as a pipe, then it would potentially make them more powerful than the Fae. Not only this, but be able to manipulate magic any way they like. But it is interesting that the book does not immediately tell us where the magic went. All you say that this book says on the last page that it had been successful. And successful in what? And where did the magic go? Those are questions that now need answering. If the magic were being able to be then sourced by the creature or person, living or dead, then they can do what they wish with it. They can make it its ruler. It is untold power. But if we hope that it simply then, as a magic could be, go into the ground, the Fae absorbing it again, hoping for good, protecting the land, then I would say that they were in fact unsuccessful instead of being successful.
Why would someone write that they were successful if they weren't?
But that is the thing. They could have been in terms of taking magic from one of these simple items, and they should have started small. What I see in these items, they are not some items of great power, but minute magics. Experiments. They will help you somewhat, but perhaps not as much as you might. In any case, they might have been successful in something small to start.
Do you know
Maybe.
what these items are?
I have been concentrating on them, yes.
Have you identified them?
Not yet, but they do have auras about them.
Glorious.
Can you do the same?
Huh?
Can you do the same?
Like read auras or?
Yes, or identify items.
I mean, I can read into the different energies of magic, yes. But I thought you meant like auras. Like we all have auras. Yours is like a teal color.
Oh, really?
That's bad.
No, it's
Oh.
not. It's quite relaxing.
Well, in any case, my aura reading is more to the identifying an item.
Like the item specifically, or the type of magic it
Both.
uses?
Both. I
Right, I
can
can do the magic part.
well, I can achieve the secondary, but with time. So give me more time and I can.
Cool.
What say you then to Goreslag's offer?
I'll hand over the magical items, except for I might keep the book
You're giving the items to whom?
to Medea.
Okay. All right.
Hey, good job.
Well done. She takes these items off your hands.
So she can identify them.
Sure. All right. She takes some more time, but in the meantime,
I was just opening my mouth.
Where do you?
You go.
Where do you suggest we start?
I think, and the Fire Giant speaks again, I think it is prudent to go there. And as he points, your gaze follows his direction, and you see at the essentially the eastern side, east-north of the cave that you're in at the moment, past the massive forges. There is a thin path, very tall, that seems to have an opening, like an arch, in the rock, and it just leads into darkness.
Has anyone been down there recently?
Every now and again, we do get messages from my city. once a week, every few days, perhaps.
Does everyone always come out unscathed, or they come out hurt?
Apart from falling rocks, perhaps they come out without wounds that would indicate a battle.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Cool. That was a 21.
A 21. Okay.
Use the same dice all night,
Hmm.
and that's one of my new dice. I'm not gonna say which one in case I jinx it.
Okay, I'll send you this. Of that particular statement, there you are.
Isn't it the enclave?
Conclave.
The conclave.
So if you truly seek Wolf back, then I do ask this favor.
Right, well, could we ask you a favor in return? Just a really small one.
His gaze just focuses on you.
Could you please feed your guards more? The ones that are kind of enslaved at the moment, maybe?
Make a
And-
persuasion check.
And also let them sleep.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm scared. Will I guide myself? Yeah, I'm gonna guide myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it subtly, obviously. I'm gonna be like, ooh. Is it people? Okay, that's good. Persuasion, you say.
I do say
24.
24. All right.
Did you just stop rolling?
No.
Did you roll it all?
No, I don't. I just make a DC up.
Right.
So he says to you,
You were like,
I know. I know. Just getting ready for whatever happens. Yeah, basically. Punches you in the face. Of course I will.
oh!
He does say, of course I will.
Let them sleep too, please.
They
Like the full 8 hours.
8. You must
They'll be more
understand.
effective this way, I promise.
You must understand that we are not familiar, perhaps, with humanoid kind, such as yourselves. I did not receive any information that this was required.
I might have some tips for you. Just, before we go on this adventure, I could maybe use some food and maybe be at full health before, we face some falling rocks.
In the barrels, there are more health poultices and healing
Maybe I should just
vials.
get in the barrel.
If you so desire, they are there. Take what you need.
Yeah, I'll begin taking what we need, and also
You-
more than what we need.
Are you doing this? Are you doing so? You're going into the
Yeah,
barrels?
absolutely.
Okay.
I'll take as much as I can.
Yeah.
You
Whatever's-
find a total of 15 minor health potions.
We're about to battle something.
You also find the equivalent of 5 healing kits. And also, you find, 10 rations. 10 rations.
Cool.
Yes, as humanoids need to eat and sleep to be of sufficient service.
You'll actually find that once you let your guards have a full night's rest and eat, they'll actually work a lot better for you.
That they may.
No, they will. That's not a question. That's a statement.
Very well. I will take that. I will take that back up to Wolf.
And you will enforce it.
Of course. What are you doing?
I explained this last time.
Oh, this again.
Remember, you'll die.
And he reaches out just holds that pinky, which essentially almost is 3 or 4 of your fingers.
Ow.
You do
No.
take.
No!
You said it. You do take from the fiery fist of this giant 1 point of flame damage.
Got flamed.
Get flamed.
Or roasted.
Everyone take 4 minor healing potions. I'll take 3, and then everyone take 1 healing kit. I'll take 2.
Good idea. As Velo hands that out to everybody.
While this was going on, I would have been disrespectfully ignoring the giants. And I would have been rubbing up on my fleece and trying to make minor illusions. Given that illusions came to life, so I'll make a very like OP looking end of the world magic sword, and I'll be like trying to grab the handle.
Grab the handle.
Yeah,
Where is this magical sword that you're procuring?
it's
Producing?
a minor illusion cantrip, but
Yes, but-
because illusions came to
Oh,
life,
right,
so
right.
that's what I'll be doing instead of paying attention to the giants.
Initially, when you do produce the sword, they do both look at you in utter surprise. After a while, though, after seeing you try and grasp it, they don't take any notice.
Various items like bars of gold and stuff, and just seeing if anything's going to come to life.
Oh, I see what you mean. None do. When the gold appears, the fire giant does look over in a bit more interest, but then when it disappears, he goes back to speaking.
Oh, one more thing. Could you please look after our horses?
Medea pipes up there and she says, they will be taken care of.
If they're not, I'm going to be very upset.
Well, the camels as well.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget about Horsey. It's important.
I'm sorry, who is Horsey? One of the
There's
horses?
a little chicken in the saddle pouch. I've left some food in there for you.
Is this chicken... Are you saving it to eat it?
No, God, no.
Horsey,
What is the purpose?
Wait, are we not?
Horsey's
Oh, no.
family.
Oh, he was gifted to us.
Yes. That's why we haven't.
He's a pet.
While you debate,
No, like genuinely, Horsey is family.
very well. I'm sorry, whomever is his relative.
Relation to
Who do you
Bello.
think?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but
Well, if you thought Velo, you'd be wrong.
Velo laid that.
It's actually Sid.
oh, it is your child then.
No. No. Cousin.
Very well.
Sometimes you can lay your cousins.
It's the new world. Anything goes.
I'm sorry, I'm not following, but I respect any decision that is made.
Medea, you're too kind.
Perhaps I too might need more
Cousins?
time up in Wove to
Wove.
understand you more. No more cousins, no. Although,
That was a joke.
Oh, the family died.
although
recently.
if I could, I
Oh,
would.
that's
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You're the last of your kind. Sorry.
It is something that
Dang.
most forget. It is acceptable.
It's just the uncomfortable heat down here. It's making me sweat and I'm a little dehydrated.
Some water.
Do you have any?
Yes.
Well, drink up before your travels begin. And good luck. Come back with anything that you can tell us about this odd interaction.
Remember, the horses
The horses will be kept safe
and healthy
and not eaten.
and
No.
happy.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with happiness in steeds.
Full stop. Happiness.
But we will do our best. Is that all?
Give us a moment to speak to our companions.
In private?
Decision. Oh, preferably, yes.
And you watch as the fire giant and the cloud giant start to walk out and disappear towards the left. And you are by yourselves after a minute or so.
Are we really going into the murder hole? I point towards the ominous dark hole.
Oh,
What's-
that's not really a murder hole, it's a messenger hole.
Are we really going into the messenger hole?
Well, I mean, he hasn't really given me a good reason to. Like, what do we get out of this?
Well, if you can find out more about this being and the magical items and stuff, we might be able to find you vampire bags.
I'm free all these people.
But too.
Why do I care about this place?
That's a good question.
Mm.
We could just run.
Oh gosh, I nearly sneezed like 3 times. It's really hot down here.
We could
Just
just run.
maybe the sulfur.
It smells funny.
What do you think, Sid? And do we tell him about the conclave? This seems connected in some way,
What conclave?
just by undead.
I don't
Don't
know.
tell them.
I mean, you're the one who suffered the most here. Your life's kind of ruined.
You
I
don't
mean-
look the same. You're not black and white anymore. You're like grey.
Yes,
You're
I'm not
never going to be
feeling
able
too
to
good.
let us down. I mean, I'm not going to be able to help myself from bringing you up every time that you start to get like one over on me in like a duel or something.
Are you talking about what happened before
Yeah,
with
with you
meat foldy holds?
asphyxiating on a turd. Yes,
Look, I didn't choose that.
I know you didn't choose it, but I don't have a choice to repeat this. Like, if you're at a bar, and you're talking to someone, I'm gonna bring it up, and it's not my fault.
You can do
I would
that.
expect the same if I was
It's-
under there and you were safe.
There's still time.
Your life is done. You need to find a powerful mage who can change your appearance and wipe everyone's memory. That's the only way. Your only way out.
I mean, it was a bit traumatizing, but if this brings you happiness, then I'm glad for you to tell that story.
I don't know if it brings him happiness as
It
much
does.
as disgust.
It does.
No, I'm pretty sure it's smiling. Maybe we can reminisce about it over a beer, but like right now,
You can tell us what it was like on the inside.
it's moist.
I'd prefer for us to not have this conversation right now, if that's okay.
Yes. So are we going into the messenger hole, also known as the murder hole of death?
It's actually just the messenger hole.
Of death, or
Why's it got to be a hole
Well, it
it's
is.
always a
or
hole.
crack?
A fissure.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. The messenger fissure of death.
I've been in a lot of holes recently. I don't like it.
That was a fissure.
Well, there's
This
two
has been
directions.
productive.
Down the way, down the murder fissure of messaging death, or back past the giants.
We
I'm-
can't leave all these people, like, enslaved by giants.
I must admit, what are the chances that Goreslag's gonna let us go if we decline?
Very good.
Also, Horsey might die.
Mm, to the
And
future.
Shariel and Cheryl,
Mhm.
Marjorie and Abigail.
Yes. Where will we find 2 horses and a chicken? All right.
They're not just 2 horses.
Ah, and the camels as well. Yes.
They're family.
Are they related?
No, they're our family.
Oh yes. All right. Into the murder hole.
Do we,
Sorry,
do we
vision.
tell him about the conclave then?
No. Hopefully the Fae kill him before we get back.
That would be nice.
Who Goreslag?
We should probably tell them that we're actually doing this instead of just walking away.
Oh, fuck him. Let him wonder.
We'll leave a note. I mean, I guess I'll call out.
Hey, do you want to go sit on his throne?
Is his throne still there?
Mr. Fancy Pants?
No,
You
he took
feel
it
like
with
a
him.
kid.
Yes, it's there.
Sid, go sit on the throne.
If you go sit on the throne, I'll sketch you really quickly.
Yeah, actually, I might actually collect up some of the bone fragments.
Yep.
Anything that looks sharp.
Okay. You pick up a multitude. You have 27 pieces of very sharp-looking bone that's just been sheared away.
Is it? Should ask first. Is it a cushion?
Yeah, no, it's quite solid. Solid, deep metal, like a beautiful blue,
Like how deep?
all the way.
That would work so much there. I'll look at the metal throne and then just drop all the bone shards.
Okay. you pick them up carefully. Look over. Ma.
You're going to sit on it?
Yeah, I'll jump up on the throne.
Okay. As you clamber up there and sit.
I pull out my journal and I just sketch really fast.
Okay. Make me an athletics check.
Athletics?
Yep. Or dexterity check, your choice.
What?
I mean, no, they're not the same. We're going to do dexterity.
Yeah, hold on. Look at Sid, king at the castle.
Yeah.
They're not the same at all.
If it were, I question.
needed food to survive.
Yes, that was concerning.
Is his hammer still there?
No, you took that with him.
Does he not sleep?
What'd you
How
get?
can you not know these things?
What'd you get?
12.
A 12? Okay. You sketch.
A stick figure.
Well, no. The actual sketch is nice. I'm just thinking of timing. So you take a good maybe 3 or 4 minutes to have just a quick, do over. You get the throne quite nicely, nice and square and tall, and you get that sheen of blue. You then start on
I
the.
would like to make his nose look slightly crooked.
Okay, yeah. With that check, you did well. It's a little bit bigger as well, though, than you might have wanted.
That's fine.
You had to make the eyes quite close together in comparison, and just this schnoz that goes around a little bit more.
You know when people edit people's photos to make them look
Yeah,
different to
yeah.
see if they go, whoa, what's wrong with me?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to do.
It definitely shows. Definitely is a Sid, but a little bit off. And you're
My
done.
body is warm with all the venereal diseases attacking me.
I'm done. Would you like to see?
Yeah.
I hold up the drawing.
That'll make a good next card. King of the castle.
No,
Brow Lord.
it's not significant enough to become a card.
It could be a sign that you're about to shit yourself.
Get underneath me.
Been there, done
See, I
that.
told you. I'd never let it go.
Oh, I'm gonna scratch a note.
If it was a card, what would it signify? What would the omen be?
Well, probably poop.
To death.
Fuck you.
What kind of stone is this? Is it stone that's made out of?
It looks like stone, but it is a deep blue, and there does look to be small veins of gold that seems to be just going through it.
Can I try just pilfer some of his gold out of his chair?
Sure, you absolutely can do that. Can you make me a strength check as you? What are you using to pick at this throne of gold?
Good shout.
Do you have a pick?
I have a hand axe. It's probably the thing that's
Yep, that'll.
at the most.
You can absolutely give that a good old shot. Go for it.
Yeah, that's probably my best shot.
Yep, hand axe.
Hand axe. Terrible. I cut my finger.
What did you get?
A 3.
A 3? Okay. Was that just a 3 with your bonuses, or?
No, that was a 4 minus 1.
All right. As you just whack this throne once, twice, a little chip comes out of the axe, and the smoothness of this throne seat is sublime, unscathed, untouched, and the glistening gold still is just out of your reach.
So commanding. Please stop.
Fair enough. I'll just leave the chip that came out of the hand axe on the seat and
Okay.
hope that it spikes it.
Spike them, yeah.
I'm going to rip out this drawing, hold it up, and give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And just say, it's very lifelike.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And I'm just gonna obviously see the schnoz, but I'm gonna ignore.
Yep.
And then when Luna turns around, I'm gonna leave it on the throne.
Leave the
The drawing.
The drawing on the
me
throne. Okay, yep. Okay, on the Fire Giant's throne. Are you doing it?
Turned around.
All right. Well, completely turn around. You can make me a perception check with disadvantage.
No.
Okay. All right.
I'll leave
It's
a note.
a slight to the giant, not you.
And what
Alright.
would you like to say on the note as you write it up?
We have accepted your offer
Goodbye.
to help you investigate these magical goings on, etc. That's literally what I say, etc. Comma.
Should we just not wait for him?
Nah, fuck him. In exchange for the freedom of the city and the better treatment of the people of Loaf.
All right.
Yes, you could have just asked us to begin with.
Okay.
Full stop. I'll leave that on the seat on top of the drawing.
On top of the drawing. Cool. No problem at all.
What a gift.
All right. So
A tinted up throne that's not actually tinted, a drawing of someone they don't like, and a note that is very passive aggressive.
by this stage, about 10 minutes have passed. You don't see the giants at all. You're still in this room by yourselves. The heat from the forge is burning hot.
Is there like a chest or anything in this giant's throne?
You can make me an investigation check, please.
A little looty.
No!
Investigation's 15.
Yep, there sure is. You notice that behind the throne, there seems to be a fairly large wooden chest.
How far do you think we can push things?
What's in the chest? First.
Can I investigate it again to see if it's trapped?
Sure, you can either use the same roll or roll again and pick and choose the new roll. Up to you. Choices.
Do I add my... I'll roll again.
Do you have a trap finding bonus? You can add your
Yeah.
proficiency if that's the case.
I might not. That might happen later. I think there's something about traps. I'll just re-roll.
Okay.
Oh, good. That's a 19 and a 4, so 23.
A 23. Okay. What you notice inside is there are 3 items that seem to be poking out of a gold and silver filled chest. Gold and silver coins, that is. A mixture of both. You see these 3 items being a fairly nice grayish white robe that seems to have these patches of things on its sort of different colored patches on the cloak itself. It seems like it's large enough for a humanoid to wear. You also notice a ring. This particular ring has this ring seems to have a small shield, just a white and purple shield on the ring. It's on the head of the ring itself that's poking out. And the third thing you find is a quiver. This quiver is quite beautiful, actually. It's a green leather, which looks to have this gold flowery top to it that seems to be sort of curling around, attached to the quiver itself, with a strap.
Go on. You won't. Was the chest trapped?
Don't do it.
No. As you opened it, it was fine. It was
Oh, I opened it up. Okay, wow.
not trapped.
If you take them, be ready to give them back if we have to come here. But if we never have to return, free stuff.
Also, you know that if we take these things, then they'll probably immediately go back on the word that they just gave us, aka they will probably start mistreating all of the people that they've enslaved, and then they'll probably kill the horses and horsey, and then the camels, and probably anyone we care about.
I'm glad there's not that many people that I care about.
Yeah, I mean, all the people I care about are kind of right here, helping
Aww.
us seal this.
Aww.
Oh, you.
No.
Seal this.
No, Luna, you are right. We have to
Sorry,
set
can
a
you
trend.
say that again?
I said you are right.
Wow. I wasn't right about 24 to 48 hours ago, but that's nice. Thank you.
I'd prefer not to talk about that again, but we do have to set a trend here for the others above. Perhaps they won't treat them as nice.
Should I just ask them?
No, let's go.
I'm gonna see if they're within 150 feet, and I'll go pointing in the last direction I saw them go. Hey, Goreslag. Goreslag. Goreslag chest. Goreslag.
As you close the chest, Hood, you hear a response. They seem to be within 150 feet. Goreslag, in your mind, are you ready to give your answer?
Yeah. Also, we found your chest. Can we use the stuff in it?
That has been found by our kin. It is ours. You would do better than to sneak around and try and take treasures of others.
If I was sneaking, I wouldn't have asked you. This might be helpful.
Perhaps when you return, it can be a gift of sorts for the information that you provide.
Okay, I'm a little bit more on board than I was before. I'll let the others know. We're gonna head down the murder fissure of messaging.
You don't hear anything else.
Okay, catch ya. Probably don't take it now. Might get it when we get back.
All right. I've closed the lid on it anyway, so.
Yep.
Well, who wants to go in there first?
I'll start walking.
I'll follow behind Sid.
I'm gonna walk next to Sid.
I will light a torch and come up last and go, maybe I shouldn't be last.
All right. The torch helps you with your dark vision. And as you walk away, you hear the footsteps, your own footsteps, just pitter-patter on this marble stone floor. You pass by the forges, the 6 or 7 of them, and you enter this archway that
What?
leads.
What's it called?
It's an archway.
Yeah, but what's it called? The
Huh?
Murder Fissure
Oh,
of
right.
Death.
Sorry.
Message.
Because, yes, I named it the Murder Fissure of Death. Yep, absolutely. As you pass through.
You look thoroughly offended.
I was
when
not, I was
first
not, no, I was
told
just
that.
curious. I just actually didn't know what you wanted me to say. As you all pass through, you die. No. Murdered. You look beyond, and you see that even here, there's rubble. There's large and small stones, boulders that seem to have been helping to make this tunnel wider. But you can see above you, there are just small little spaces in between the ceiling, as though any moment there could be, if a tremor did occur again, just a catastrophe of stone all around you. It's very loose, and you just tiptoe your way above and around and find your path. It's not an even path. It's what was a road is just covered in uneven ground as you continue to move into darkness. Through this and your dark vision, you see that the walls are made of the same sort of natural rock that you stepped on when coming into this place where the Fire Lord greeted you. This deep black stone, almost as though there's no light that could emit from it at all if it was lit up. Your torch, Velo, at the end of that column, and it is a column that you need to travel, it seems. Who's in front? You need to make me a survival check, because it is tough to navigate just the sheer ups and downs of this cavern.
Oh, look, everything's -1. It's 10.
A 10? It takes time, but you don't fall over, you don't slip. You continue to tell the rest of your party what to look for as you're stepping on it, as you're discovering loose stones that...
We see him being a little bit like
careful.
janky.
Not janky. There's actually no... there doesn't seem to be any misstep. It's just caution. But you do notice a slower moving travel than you're normally used to.
Maybe you should light a torch.
So I can see.
Why are you so slow?
If you like, I can turn into something small and try to scamper ahead, I guess.
You do you.
Would that be helpful?
Yes. And both I and Wood will resist our baser instincts.
Yeah,
What is he talking about?
if you could not eat me, that would be great.
She's gonna become a mouse or something.
Ah.
Definitely not a mouse, that would be silly.
Good joke.
Did you say no?
No, I'm curious. What are you going to turn into?
Oh, a weasel.
Yeah.
Good progressions.
But we should agree on this because I will not be able to talk to you.
How will you... We should have a... How will we know? What's the symbol for danger when you're a weasel?
When I bite you.
Oh, what's the symbol for non-safety?
I mean danger and not safety at the same.
No, I mean safety. Safety, that is.
The fact that I don't.
You know, standard, common.
If I don't bite
That's why I
you,
haven't been
hey.
biting you this whole time. So,
Interesting. Is there any? Can we hear anything in the?
Make
Can
me a
also
perception
make a
check.
loud
Is there
wailing
other
noise.
like animals in this?
Yeah, make a perception check. Good question. 2 points for Gryffindor.
Perception
Yeah.
is 3, so 17.
17, yes. You hear the sounds of drip, drip, drip as water from high above the ceiling in just over and over, just a perpetual, just on the floor, in the distance, echoing throughout this cavern and from multiple locations. You don't quite know how far or how near. Every now and again you do step on a small puddle that would have you consider that these are closer. You also hear the sounds of, every now and again, an echo of screeching as though a bat has, or a family of them perhaps, are either flying or nesting. But that's it.
Can you fight a snake in weasel form? Like, who would win, snake or weasel?
I've never tried to fight a snake as a weasel. This is something I only learned to do not long ago.
We could fight
can
you
weasels see in the dark?
Yeah, maybe, no. But I can smell and I can hear, like, really well. Like, it would, if I was at a disadvantage for my sight, I'd be at an advantage for stills.
Can you communicate
Being
with other
perceptive.
animals when you're in this form?
Again, I haven't really tried. This is a new thing that I can do.
What
Maybe.
about like a bat or something?
Maybe other weasels.
Oh, I can't do anything that flies.
No.
No.
Or maybe turn into something that isn't.
We're wasting too much time. Maybe we should just keep walking.
No, weasel sounds like a good idea. I like it.
You say that because you want to eat.
No, genuinely not.
Can I just start, while this conversation's going, start ritually casting Speak with Animals and just see if this goes for 10 minutes?
It does. At the end of it, once the conversation ends,
Hi, Mum.
it will be, and you can then speak with animals for a certain amount of time.
Okay, cool.
Perhaps just don't turn into
never mind,
anything
Yes, thank you.
that the bat might
Thank you.
eat.
No, weasel beats that.
I could be a giant weasel.
Wait, if Velo did eat you in your animal form, would that make you cannibal?
No, because we are not the same species.
Wouldn't you like expand after he chewed on you and then rip his head off?
No.
You'd be like full form while
So-
getting swallowed,
Something happened to my cousin ate too much raw rice once. Same thing.
hanging out at weddings.
Was it at yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
From my understanding, from what my parents have told me, is that if I am to die as this animal, I do in fact become myself again. So if you did try to eat me, I
Still
would
not cannibalism.
I would turn into myself halfway through.
If I ate any of you right now, not cannibalism.
I don't think you could.
You're missing the
As in like,
you're missing the lead here is that your neck would explode as you tried to swallow it.
That's true.
Wait,
Well,
Anyway,
Velo doesn't.
Anyway.
if you turn into a weasel, I'll be able to speak with you for 9.5 more minutes.
Let's do it. Weasel time.
I could be a bunny.
That'd do it too. That'd be pretty good too.
No, it's not as good. Let's be a weasel. And then I guess I'll turn.
For 9 more minutes.
I'll turn into a weasel, but the weasel is like a teal color.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
As you watch, you slowly see Luna just blink, and as that form changes, she gets smaller and smaller. Her features become less and less humanoid, less and less elven, and more in line with fur on her body of this beautiful light blue-green and this fluffy tail. And you see before you a tiny... Is it a giant weasel you were going to be, or
No,
small?
it's a tiny.
Oh, yeah, tiny.
It's a tiny weasel.
This small.
It's literally a
little
tiny
weasel.
beast.
Yep. Yep.
With 1 hit point.
Mm-hmm.
So what I plan on doing is, because it has keen hearing and smell,
It does.
trying to listen as I scamper ahead and then scamper back and scamper ahead and scamper back.
As you start to scamper forward, you feel nauseous. That very first transformation that you envisioned your parents telling you about.
Weasel bomb.
You concentrate on it, and you feel your insides just churn from the change, and disoriented for just a moment. But suddenly, even though as an elf you see clearly in the dark, here it's as though those senses have transferred to your nose. You smell everything,
Oh no.
and that
Where's
means
Melwood?
you smell hood so bad. So bad.
Got balm on there.
You smell a mixture of mint and crap.
It's definitely her.
I'll translate. She's saying you smell nice.
I look. Do I understand him? Does he
Yeah.
have speak? I can speak to him.
Well,
I was saying
yeah,
in common
not
to-
yeah, in common towards hood. Yes. Yeah, you didn't understand what Sid said.
Oh, Velo, the balm must be wet.
What? We got like 7 minutes left.
So you're scampering
I'm
forward.
looking at
And-
my
and back.
imaginary.
Alright.
non-existent
Essentially,
fantasy
like not too far forward, so that like, because Bella's got torch,
Yes.
so like,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yes, I will scamper enough that I'm in the darkness, but not so far that like I'm out of
Out of sight.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Out of sight of the torch, because that's a fair way longer.
Or out of sight is fine
Yeah.
to these guys.
Sure.
But like not far enough that I could get yeeted before I could tell them anything.
Okay,
Like,
can you-
I will.
Yeah, go back and forth. Can you? What are you looking for? Anything specific or smelling anything
Danger?
specific? Sure. Make a
You had smell.
investigation check for me.
And also, like,
perception
clues.
and perception. So
Clues.
both. One of
Um,
each.
Huh?
One of each. So investigation
I'll
first,
do investigation first.
and now perception. Oh, into the dice jail.
Oh, that's good.
You
Uh,
perceive nothing.
So investigation was a 2. Oh wait, this is gonna be at advantage? Perception?
No.
Why?
On wisdom that rely on hearing. Oh, it does. Yes,
And
it's sorry,
smell.
and smell. Yep. 100%. Hearing and smell.
That is a disadvantage because wood smells like shit.
No. That'll be alright.
Oh, I've gotta use X.
Correct, which is +3.
Ooh. So that's a 21.
21. Okay. So you move forward and back, and you all continue to move forward. Sid, you're in front, and you're keeping an eye on Luna as she comes back and then moves forward out of sight again. It's quite easy for you to navigate your way over these rocks. You just jump, and you're over a particularly large boulder. Though you haven't found anything in particular, anything of interest that would, apart from this particular just same old flat, although you do notice that this is it's going slightly downward over time. Over the next hour, you notice that this scene is moving in a direction of getting lower in the earth, in the mountains. You smell, as you go further and further away from Hood, again, a combination of still
Danger.
bats, definitely the feces of bats. You also smell what seems to be humidity in the air, as though just after a rain. And you also hear running water. As you move forward further, you notice that there is, for the first time, a very small stream that seems to be moving diagonally from where you're traveling, but has had to make the diversions around these boulders and rocks that have just come down from this earthquake that has occurred recently. And it's a zigzag. You see a few little dead fish around as well that perhaps didn't go very well against the current here.
I will sit
Okay,
like a good girl.
like a little meerkat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
By the water source, and I'll wait for these guys to catch up to me.
Yep, and only a few minutes, and you all arrive at this small stream that you're easily able to. You have to take a step into the water, and then you can get out of it at the deepest point.
Put my little snout in it and flick it up towards Velo.
Okay.
Look, she caught some fish. Good job.
I shake my whole head. No, because I can't understand it, but I'm just like,
Uh, Luna just stares back at you.
I'll do it again.
All
I
right.
was like,
Flick the water. You just a little bit of water just
Are we
enters
all,
your eye.
are we all together?
You're all together again.
and then I use my snout to point at the water.
It's all very fishy smell around here. You can smell it quite strongly. The fish look like some are half decomposed. Some of them have sort of seem to have just died.
It'd be unusual, though. Would I believe it to be unusual that there's so many dead fish and...
Ooh, you can make me a nature check, please.
Oh, I retain my mind as a transformed druid, apparently.
Oh, cool.
So I can understand.
Cool. Nice.
Thank you, Maple Dragon, who also plays a druid.
Oh, well done. Thank you for the reminder.
12.
12? Yeah, it's not very. It's not uncommon to see after something like this phenomenon to see fish obviously dead, not able to traverse this water as easily anymore. So some may try still from wherever the source is, but then from a lake or something. But then as they go down, they might hit a rock or something. But to see this many, and as you count them, you notice that there are something like 50 in your vision, let alone before and after. That's the unusual bit. They're all just beside each other, and some of them are bones, some of them are fresh. Hard to tell why specifically, but some of them are older than others.
Perhaps the water's not clean? I don't know, I just haven't seen this many dead fish.
Does
It's coming from somewhere.
the water source follow the natural pathway that we're following?
No, it goes diagonal to where you're following. So
Right.
you're going straight, and this thing is going from it's flowing from the left-hand side down towards the right and diagonally from you, and it seems to go out of sight.
I'm gonna look at you, and then look at the water source, and then look at you again. Just
I'm
be
going
like,
to pretend that Speak with Animals didn't run off 50 minutes ago.
Sure.
Go, Bella, she's trying to say that she found a stream with dead fish.
Ah. Good job.
I just do this.
And I'll look at you and go, which means nothing.
I just do this.
She likes.
How long does your transformation last?
4 hours.
Good to know.
Do you want me to swim into the water? Are we swimming?
I just like start to follow the water.
You're following the path of the flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like not in it.
No,
The
but
wall
beside it. Yep.
beside it.
Yep.
Does anyone really know what we're doing here? You just had to come into this.
Yes, we're following this teal ferret to find some wizard skeleton.
Are we going to the actual where the remains of that person was?
I assume.
Well, we're going to Altoth, the giant city. There's still giants there. That's why there's fissure of death messaging. That's how the messages come.
Right.
I make a squealing noise.
Hey,
You-
Ferret, are you sure it's down the river or straight ahead?
Yeah, it's
Do I have arms? Do weasels have arms?
Yes. Yeah. You got four appendages. You see this weasel with these tiny arms? Just do this.
And I'll translate to Bella. She's saying she just really wanted to turn into a weasel. I don't know if it's helpful or not.
You got 4 fingers, just so you know.
These 4 or
Yeah,
these 4?
the first. Yeah.
I can still do it.
We're going up.
So you see Luna just scamper off in the direction of where the flowing water is.
And as they like stop and talk, I squeal like a little weasel.
Alright, we're coming.
As you follow
Jeez.
Luna, what are you looking for? Or what do you want
I'm
to
just
do?
like listening, I guess, to the water source, see how far it might go. If there's anything else sus, like any other fish that.
Make
maybe
another
are-
investigation check then.
Oh,
Your passive perception is 13. Good to know.
Are we sure this is the same ferret?
How many ferrets could be down here?
And blue.
yeah.
The teal weasel is endemic to the region.
13.
A 13, as well as your perception. Cool.
Are you wanting to eat it?
I know it would be wrong to.
Yes, because your neck would explode.
But she can't understand us.
You don't know that, Hood. As you continue, you do find something odd. Where the water now runs into a gap in the wall of this side of the mountain, the water stops. The water stops and seems to have some sort of barrier, something stopping it from flowing through under the mountain. There's a gap for it, and you can see that there's mud that seems to be surrounding that gap, and the gap itself is probably a couple of meters long, so that the flow of the river simply stops, and you can see it seems to be lapping onto something and then pushing itself back, lapping on something, moving itself back. But there's no flow around it. There's no overflow. It seems to simply stop.
I also simply stop and wait for these guys to catch up.
Do you want us to throw you across the other side?
It's probably about a meter wide.
It's too far to jump, but I can throw you.
Why don't you just fly over?
I can fly over.
You carry her and fly over.
It genuinely didn't occur to me.
Imagine if I had wings.
Do you want me to throw you across?
Do you really want to touch me after what I've been through?
When Hood approaches, I'm just going to kiss at him again.
Okay. You hear a hiss from Luna.
She actually just apologized.
It's good. Perhaps that ferret's senses help the brain.
Are we crossing? I look down at the weasel. Would you like a hand? Can I lower a wing down?
This little claw holds onto your wing.
I'm gonna lift one wing up and then.
Stings a bit, but it doesn't do any damage.
Is it weird to offer a hand but then place a wing? Onwards!
I guess so. And I'm just going to. How deep is this water?
You actually looking down. You make a perception check.
Ooh, I'm gonna use my brand new dice.
Oh, do
Is
it.
this your first roll? No.
No. It is a 12.
A 12. Looking down at the water, it looks as deep as it is wide. Looks like it's about a meter down.
Oh, that'll be right then. So I'm just gonna wade across.
Okay. As you wade across, it's cold. It is freezing, icy. You can even feel these small bits of ice that's churning around your knees and your waist as you are just pushing through. Weirdly enough, the flow is strong, and it is you just sort of you're not falling over, but you feel yourself having to really push with your legs to try and get past, and all of a sudden you're on the other side. And you see the same phenomena here. The water stops a meter from the wall of this cavern, which has this dirty dirt and dusty sort of smell, and you feel and you see that this water does not pass a particular point.
Unnaturally, it kind of just hovers.
It hovers.
An invisible barrier.
Yeah. As if it's hitting something invisible.
And can I see? But I passed that barrier.
Yes, you have.
Did the water on my clothes stay with me, or
Yep.
did I dry out as I crossed?
No, they stayed with you.
Can you dry me out? Oh, yes. Thank you.
In fact, if anything, it made it colder.
As we walk, I'm going to try and use the torch to dry myself off a bit as we go.
I mean, from the other, you're still on the other side, Sid. So from
I'll
that
shake one
side,
wing to get you off.
Yeah,
get
okay.
off.
I guess I drop.
you drop onto the ground. Sid, you're still on the other side with Hood.
Yeah, let's go.
You jump over.
And then when I get onto the other side, I go, ooh, it is cold. And I'll use prestidigitation to warm myself.
Okay.
Because it doesn't say anything about drying
Cool.
old birds.
You feel comfortable. It's nothing untoward. It was a bit cold as you went in, but that
Get
but,
old record.
yeah. As you cross,
And then I'll do the Santa Valley.
Yeah,
all right. As you all cross the river, the scene in front of you changes. As you crossed and you just looked up for a moment, you see that this cavern, from where you came from, is the same environment. Just these rocks, rubble, and strewn all around. But in front of you, where you did see was simply a continuation of that, has changed completely. It is instead a grey stoned floor that continues on until you reach what looks to be a few trees, quite large trees. The ceiling is also made of this grey stone. It's lit up by these torches, these long sticks, it seems, that dot the range of floor here. It's probably a good 200 feet wide and long. And it's almost like an amphitheater, a half circle, a half dome that seems to come down into this doorway. That seems to have these trees on either side, on both sides of this doorway.
Stone trees or living trees?
Living, green, beautiful looking trees. The scene is not lit up as much. It's still dim light, very dim, but there are torches here.
I'm gonna look down at Luna. Okay, well, do you wanna approach the ominous trees? Oh,
I just,
Translation code.
as she
Yes.
looks away, I just scamper away.
So yes.
yeah.
And as you look back down towards her, she's gone. She's hurrying ahead. You're going with her?
Yeah, I remember like 7 feet behind.
Okay.
7.
That river that we walked through,
Yep.
More than 5.
did it wash any of my smell away?
If you waded through it, it was icy cold, and it did a little bit. Yep.
Just
You
smell
didn't-
like
you
icy
didn't-
poop now.
You didn't spend your time washing yourself. You can if you like.
I'll take a minute just to scrub down.
Okay. Yep.
Service poops.
I need you, as the minute passes, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, as the iciness is just filled your bones.
Uh-oh.
Your fur is just so ridden with frost.
This must be how all the fish
Oh
are.
no.
That's it's a 5. Constitution?
Saving.
Yeah, 5.
Okay. You take 3 points of frost damage. Nothing else happens, it seems, and you are clean and fresh.
That was worth it.
But you feel that you look down at your skin and your fur, and it's just ice, almost blocks, and you sort of just instinctively rub your legs just to get that feeling off. It's uncomfortable.
Oh, did you
burning?
Did you not want to be covered in shit? I could have I could have done that for you.
Could you just maybe warm me up a little bit? I'm going
I'll cast Prestidigitation and warm him.
Okay, you are warmed.
Oh,
I'm gonna turn to me.
still worth it.
How ready are we for a fight?
I must admit that I'm not doing too good. It's been a day.
What about you?
I'm pretty peachy.
How fare you, our fine ferret friend? She's not well.
Speak, ferret.
What did she say?
I'm not embarrassed!
She said
Luna
that,
tries to say that, but it just comes out.
Squeaking.
Yeah.
she said she's used up some of her reserves, but she is physically well.
Alright.
And then I'll look at the ferret to see if that's right. Yep. Now that
If you could get some sort of emotion of approval from a weasel, you got it.
Something tells me, and I look over at the 2 living trees
There's 3 on both sides of this door.
of this door that's just out of place, surrounded by trees. It shouldn't be alive. I look over-
In this area, you gather that.
Yeah. This may be our last chance to rest. So, just wanted to throw that out there before we go through the door.
Do you think here would be a suitable place to rest?
I guess not.
you want to have a nap?
Yes. Guess I do. Always.
Can I snip Can I smell the trees from where I am?
Yes, you can. They're beautiful. They seem like fruit trees. Even to the point where you can look over and you can see that there are what look to be cherry-like fruit that seem to be growing from it in their early stages, but each tree has lots of small fruit buds.
Dragonfly. I'm gonna nip at Velo's ankle.
You're in danger.
And then I'm gonna gesture my nose or snout up towards the fruit in the trees.
Okay, I'll pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you allow me to pick you up?
Yeah.
Or do you put up a fight?
No, like
Okay, I'll help you up there. And if I can, I'm just going to give her a gentle toss up into the branch.
So you're getting closer to the tree
Get a
than
little
okay.
close to the trees.
like a cat
Yep.
being thrown.
Yeah.
No, not like that.
Oh right.
I'm gonna try and like
Yes.
into
Grab
something.
on. Make a dexterity
A
check.
solid branch.
Sure.
Not
sure.
like
you aim.
a-
Well, you make me a dexterity check to see how well your aim is, and then wait on
I've
Luna.
got 1 hit point.
Oh,
Okay.
Did you add any modifier?
yeah, 10 plus 2, 12.
Oh,
And just make me a dexterity check to see how well you do land and grab onto a solid oak.
You grab your hand or something.
What'd you
Just
get?
change back into.
it's a 6.
A 6 in total. You don't hurt yourself, but you scrape up against what looks to be a particularly small, thin branch, and then you drop onto a very, very close but lower hanging branch and grab on with all your arms and legs and just hold.
If a weasel could glare,
Eat some fruit.
can I try to climb the tree?
Yeah, absolutely. Make an athletics check as you try and climb up.
And I'll be trying to get to some fruit.
Okay.
I would have been narrating the situation to Hood, going, the elderly Abracadabra and the teal ferret weasel have formed a symbiotic relationship here. The cave-dwelling animals have needed to find pairing to be able to reach the fruit from the higher ground.
Can I hear this?
I am being quiet.
Yeah, no.
Whatever.
That's a 10.
Okay.
Because
You-
the -4 modifier.
Whoa, all right.
Yeah.
You climb a little, but only a branch up where you landed originally. I bet you do gather maybe 2 or 3 of these light pink looking cherries.
Can I toss one at Velo?
Yes, you do. Yep, you grab it.
No, like not gently, like
Oh,
at
yeah.
her head.
Right, you're just gonna attack her with it.
I don't want to hurt her, but I would like it to smush into her head.
Can I just open my beak?
Yeah, absolutely. It just grabs hold and then she bites down, and it's sour initially,
And you die.
but there's some good taste there that's on the way, but it's not ready. It's not ripe yet.
But good and disappointing news. Doesn't cause instant death.
That's the disappointing part.
For me it is. So, and I'm going to... It seems to be just fruit.
That's good news. I'm glad we solved that mystery.
Does it seem to be just fruit? Don't
Shall
feel
we-
anything other than fruity goodness?
And that's all you feel.
Shall we go back and tell Goreslag that the mystery's solved then?
Yes, you go. I'll come catch up with you.
But then
Fruit is fruit.
at that point, you do hear a voice from the doorway that says, "No, it's not going to cause death,
Oh no.
but the act of stealing may have some other punishments." And as you look over to the voice, you see in the archway of this door, with one of the doors being opened of the two, just a figure that's leaning with a shoulder on in the archway and cloaked, but the head, the hood is sort of coming up to midway on the head, and you can see a almost like a peppery, short-haired human. You can't see the ears. You see that the skin is fairly pale, very pale. white even. You can see these eyes that are yellow. And you can see these lips that are very, just as though lipstick has been put all over it, extremely red.
This feels bad.
Welcome. Welcome. And
I hide.
all right, make me a stealth check.
In the tree, obviously.
Sure.
Oh. Yeah, good. This is very good. This is probably the best stealth check I've ever done. As a weasel.
Yeah, only one.
That is a 23.
Wow. Okay.
Nat 20 plus 18.
You don't seem like the creature's noticed
But
you.
like I'm watching around it.
Sure. Yeah, you're observing. He makes no effort to hide. He seems like he's simply relaxing. He says, I would like for you
Hey, Sal.
to bear witness. Bear witness. Finally, I have an audience. We will discuss why you have come so far.
Goreslag
We know not of that name, but I'm sure it was for a daring and dangerous adventure.
Nope. Idle curiosity.
Curious,
Yes.
Pretty.
a little brazen, wouldn't you say?
What is brazen?
The fact that a curiosity brought you here. One without reservation.
These trees are growing underground.
Isn't it marvelous? Isn't it grand?
Yes.
Did you do that?
I helped. Anyway, please, come with me and you can partake in more than just this fruit, but a spectacle of wonder. Join me, please.
Sounds good.
And perhaps questions about your trip here can be answered as well. We have transformed the mountains to something wondrous. Please, would you?
I mean, we were on our way to visit some peoples. How long would you be keeping us for?
Perhaps it is us that you seek then. How would you know otherwise?
I'm pretty sure they're giants.
Because Goreslag sounds. You don't know who that is.
I would assume a fellow giant.
Yeah.
Sounds ugly on the tongue, Goreslag.
Guess you should have met his friend in the arena.
I do not wish to. Would you join me?
Well, how long will you be keeping us for? You know we are on time.
Time limits. One thing, thankfully, that I do not need to abide by anymore. It's relieving, to be honest.
This is great.
Does the person look dead?
You can make me a perception
You
check.
can make a dead check.
Check.
Can I just check your pulse? I want to know what I'm dealing
Are
with.
you asking that question?
I didn't roll well. It was a 4. Perception, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 7.
A 7? This person is talking to you, eyes open, quite focused, emotionally charged. Seems to be fairly alive.
Emotionally charged.
Is it a man or a woman?
Looks like a man.
It's a man, yeah.
And who's inviting us in? What's your name, creeps?
I'm sorry. Am I being rude?
No, it's just a little bit creepy.
Creepy? I do not wish for that to be brought on, but I would ask that you maintain your respect, or at least be kind. I'm sure, yes, we do not know each other, but you may call me Roll. I
Roll?
would simply roll.
Okay.
I would simply ask for respect, and you will get respect in return. There's no need for names.
Wasn't meant to be disrespectful, just an observation. But roll. Thank you for the invitation. Are we going in?
I'm glad you mentioned all those, pleasantries. Because, we expect the same from you.
And you will receive it.
Okay. No funny business.
Has Roll stepped beyond the threshold of the door?
Nope.
Why don't you come out and join us out here?
He takes a step forward and he simply abides. Now his arms are crossed in front of him. You can see that outside of the robes now, and you can see he sort of rolls up his sleeve a little bit. Thin, fairly thin build in
Does he
general.
sparkle in the sun?
But he's crossed the threshold.
Yep.
Okay, well.
You thought he couldn't leave, eh?
You say that out loud?
Yeah.
Yes, I thought he was the prisoner of some kind in there. Turns out you're not.
You think me a prisoner?
Yes.
How would I have made such a wondrous grove of trees?
Seems like the kind of thing you'd do if you were imprisoned down here in this cave.
Certainly it did pass the time, of course, and was a point of interest, but I come and go as I please.
How long have you been down here for?
Please. Would you not just be more preferred to come through and
We could
drink
talk
with
and
us?
walk. I mean, I think we're going in. What do
Yes.
you want to do?
No. You'll have to pardon us. The last couple of places we went to where someone invited us in, we kind of got dicked over. So
Yes.
Big dick.
Especially this guy.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly
I risked that
doesn't.
freezing water to clean myself. I was a mess.
Yes. I will endeavor to make that a bit warmer next time. You will have a warm bath here, if you so shall please. Anyway, shall we walk and talk?
You got the bath?
Many.
Are you friends with the Don Surrette?
I know not of that name, but I'm assuming he or she has a bath as well.
Yeah, big one. Anyway.
I may hear of these tales and more as we enter in then. Yes.
Show us the way.
not us before we go in. What are you?
I am an old elf.
I'll look to her.
Can I roll a deception check on that?
Are you trying to
Insight.
deceive?
I want to see. Are you telling the truth, bro?
Sure, you can roll me a deception check.
All right, insight. Seems like you're telling me the truth.
Okay. Well, you may cast whatever magics you deem fit on me, if you can cast magics, but tell your friend also that I do not like her eating my fruit. Please.
When our pet ferrety.
I think
The
it's a
blue.
weasel.
Yeah, a furry noodle.
I feel like it is.
It is.
Yes, your pet. An unusual color. Did you dye it?
No.
No, she does that on her own.
This weasel is spectacular.
This is a good weasel.
It is.
Anyway,
Throw a
Well-
coin at it, it'll dance.
here.
Yeah, try it.
I'm sorry, I don't have a coin on me, but we don't need
Yeah,
a
I've
coin
got one.
here.
I throw a coin at. Oh wait, no, I wouldn't know where she is.
On mine.
No.
No, okay. I go to pick out a coin. Like, I don't know where she is.
Schmeckles, come down.
What a fascinating name,
I
Schmeckle.
don't move.
Schmeckles. Come down.
I continue to not move.
Trying to remember, did the skeleton at the table, it had a cloak or something on, did it? Does it look like what this thing is wearing?
You can make a perception check to find out.
Schmeckle.
Schmeckle.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. This is what I'd name you if you're a blue ferret.
Two.
I mean, a cloak is a cloak, so you recall that it was brown. This one is a dark brown. Otherwise it's nondescript. There's no markings on it. There's no. It seems simply a thick cloak, something that might help against things like this river, this cold river.
And did you specifically tell us about knowing that language? I think you mentioned about the book having writing, but I don't know if you mentioned
Yeah,
the specifics.
I actually don't know if I did.
Let's assume
I,
not.
I just read it.
Yeah,
and that
you
was it.
didn't.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I shared any. Like, oh, I can read this now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, with those rolls, nice coat. There we go.
Yes.
And as then, where are you going, Luna? Are you going
I
under
would
the
like
ground?
to try and not be seen if I can.
Mhm.
Do the trees? Could I follow them by like
Yep.
going from tree to tree?
Yep. And then as you go into the door, yes, you can.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
All right. As you just slowly find the best branch, you jump from branch to branch, and you go to the last tree as you see your companions go into the door, and out of sight, you quickly follow.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep a stealthy distance.
Correct. And we'll do that stealth check after the break as you all enter and into this doorway with this person called Roll. And we will go on a 10-minute break there.
Do
Hey,
you sell rice paper rolls?
haha. Thank you so much, MVCDM and Staz, for your subs. Thank you very, very much. It's great. Hey, the code word this evening to get an extra entry into Aeon Craft's Classic Love t-shirt is magic. So as you'd like, you can
Put it in a sentence, make it creative.
put it in a sentence, make it creative. When we post our Twitter giveaway post, you can add a comment to that and have that extra entry with that word in it some way. All right. Well, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Hopefully you're enjoying yourselves, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back.
Oh.
Hey, what noise does a ferret make?
What noise does a ferret make?
I'm not a ferret. I'm
Oh,
a
no.
weasel.
Oh yeah.
What does the weasel say?
Hey, thank you so much again for that sub, NBC. That's amazing. So, let's head back.
That was crazy.
Have you heard this
wrong.
one?
Yes, I know. I'm aware. I've seen Crazy. I know some references that you
I had
say.
that on single, can I just say?
I
not
bought
very
that as a
referenced.
ringtone for like $4.99 back
Yeah.
in the day.
Oh yeah.
Did
Was
you?
it $5?
Was it polyphonic or mono?
It was mono.
It was all the rage.
Thanks, bro.
It was all the rage. I forgive you.
Oh.
As we bring it in, as you walk through this arched door
Some of us are scampering.
and you're scampering, what was the stealth roll?
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. You
Please
told me
do.
to wait. 20.
Total. Cool. You feel like you haven't been seen.
Haven't been seen?
You feel like you haven't been seen. Because
That's probably, yeah.
this person, I see. This person hasn't looked back towards you. In fact, he doesn't seem to take any notice of you at all.
Does
As
it look like
though,
he's gonna suck my blood or anything.
no, as though he's talking to himself, as though you're simply not there. He continues on.
Is he leading us?
He's leading you. He's leading you through.
He's wearing a cloak, yeah?
Yeah, a dark brown cloak.
Is there any, like, inscribing or anything that's on you anyway?
Nothing.
Like,
As he walks forward, you can see yourselves walking with him on this stone pathway. But the stone pathway, wide as it is, it's probably about 50 feet wide. Some of the stones, some of these grey stones that are the same color as that antechamber that you were in with the grove of trees. Some of the stones that should have been making up this path are the first thing that you notice. they float. And they make these gaps directly below where they are floating. They are being uncertain. There's a feeling of uncertainty within these square, perfectly square cubes of stone, as though they should rise or fall. They are hovering, waiting, turning very, very lightly around. Around you is the next quick thing that catches your eye. As this stone path turns, it seems to be moving forward, but looking down, there seems to be no floor. There seems to be a chasm on either side of this stone bridge. Beyond that, the stone walls of what would be a cavern have melted away, and instead there are galaxies, stars, dark reds, dark purples, and then behind that, pitch black. All around you, like looking up in space. You see that this bridge continues forward in midair forever.
Quite an interesting place you got here.
Isn't it wonderful? Any reservations? I'm sorry if this makes you feel uncomfortable. It's, to me, a beauty. Do not be alarmed. I discovered this when I was searching this area. It is not of my making. I call it beauty. Beauty in expanse.
Do I recognize the constellations from anywhere?
You can make me a survival check.
Hey, nat 20.
Wow.
Wait!
That's 3 nat 20s this evening.
First one on these dice.
Nice. Plus anything?
Plus a survival check.
Yep.
Plus 3, 23.
23. Looking up, you do not recognize these constellations at all. The stars are different. Yeah. There's no 10 moons, as you would see in Vin. Looking up, it's either something else that's magical about this. It's hard to tell whether this is a natural or magical phenomenon.
Is there a moon? One at least.
There are distant spaces in this expanse, in this never-ending space that does look like that they are illuminated slightly, these planets.
I think this is a map of some other sky. Somewhere else.
Who's the closest
How could that be possible?
person to me?
We're in a cave.
Map.
Who is the, besides Luna, who's the furthest back? And who's, tell me your marching order.
I'd probably be just behind, like 5 feet away from
Hold me.
Roll.
Yep, okay, so you're initially behind? And who's-
Yeah, I'd probably be behind him. I generally walk into things.
Okay, so you're leading the rear.
Yeah, I think.
So you'll be next to Velo.
You wear a
Luna.
cloak, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna run up the cloak
All right, you do feel
and
the
hide,
weasel
hide in it.
just scamper up and hide underneath the cloak.
But like
So at the waist.
peering out.
Good. I do nothing.
Okay. As you continue to walk, other sights are odd to you. You notice trees uprooted are simply floating and turning very slowly, just beyond the border of where the bridge ends and this space begins.
Tell me, if you've been down here so long, have you noticed any cloud giants?
Cloud giants.
Yeah, they've gone missing.
I've never met a giant.
Not even one.
No, I've heard of them. Tales and stories. Written and told, but none in person. Are they magical creatures? Have you seem to have met some? Are they good? Are they good of heart?
You live about 80 meters off one of their highways.
I wouldn't be so sure. If you mean this place, we are far, far away from where we met.
Okay, but if you head out through that door, through the icy water, take a left and go about 80 meters, giant highway.
I'm sorry. Going back will not take you to where we met.
Ah, sweet.
How did you get to where you were then?
By chance. Simply by chance. What I've studied, what we've studied,
You know that thing I mentioned we needed to be somewhere?
not to worry. Like I said, mutual respect. I am aware of a way out. Perhaps it will not lead you exactly to where you were, but it will be very close. Please do not be alarmed here. It's something of a wonder to behold. The study I've made here is fascinating. It's still Vim, but not in the time you are possibly aware of. You would have been long dead to if you were in this place. This is far, far, I believe, a different time.
Why? Why do you think it's a different time?
Well, looking at some of these, and he sort of points up, and as you follow the fingers and his gaze, you see that there are very, very minor, tiny points. Some spaces he points to, there's nothing there. There, and he points 10 times. There. Leave there. Mapping this space, this infinite unknown out. There, and forgive me, but I've lived some time here. I believe there were moons. The way the planets have shifted, it is as though it is moving forward quickly.
I know space exists.
Ah, I do with a nat 20.
Yes, you do. 100%. So, reading and looking at the past, looking at what Vim was or is with what your understanding is, I can only assume that we have passed the point where Vim is a place. He sort of inhales quickly then. I mean no alarm. I'm simply a scholar here. I'm here to come to an understanding of why this has taken place. I initially was as fearful as you may be now of the understanding of the gravity of this. But I think we should look at this as an opportunity. Opportunity to learn and then fix, perhaps.
What would need be fixing?
Don't you feel it?
I feel it.
I need you to make me an Arcana check.
Do I feel it?
Amazing, amazing. I'll give you a roll for that.
It's not great. 12 in total.
A 12.
Yeah.
You just, for a moment, close your eyes as you're walking. You feel like, for some reason, since the icy water, your legs have become more leaden. You're weighed down, as though gravity's become harsher. It's like you're stooping, bending over. You feel more tired all of a sudden. You feel healthy otherwise, but nothing else seems normal. Something is going on. And you all feel that too.
Even the weasel?
Yep. Do you feel different?
Well, now that you mentioned it, yes.
That?
If I feel healthy, do I go up to 26 HP?
Not unless you want to take a potion. This is what I've been studying. And by now, you crossed a good 100 feet, 120 feet of this stone, avoiding a lot of these other pieces that are floating and turning around you, which he seems to be avoiding as well.
So we kind of like on a floating staircase.
No, bridge.
Bridge, yeah.
Stone grey bridge. Even the stone bridge seems to be floating. It's moving very slowly up and down. And you can't see an end to it.
When was the last time you showed someone this?
That is my excitement. Not being able to. No one has stumbled through here.
Lucky us.
Well, yes.
Yeah, thank you for the yes.
It is a pure luck, and I think any others that should set their sights on this should be grateful, respectful. I feel here emboldened, confident, happier. Do you feel the same? Is that what you're feeling?
I mean, I'm glad I'm not freezing cold and wounded, but this is all very interesting. I've never seen anything like this before.
At this point, I'm going to crawl out of the cloak
Mm-hmm.
and away from Velo, behind Velo, and probably drop back into my normal form.
Schmeckles, you've been a girl this whole time.
Oh,
Haha, very funny. Also, don't call me Schmeckles.
Fine.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Where have you come from?
This place's magic has turned my beloved Schmeckles
No,
into...
but here's the thing. He points. He's earnest now. He looks imploringly at you. Here's the thing. That's the very thing that is going on here. How could you have done that?
Yes, tell him Schmeckles.
I mean, I am very good at manipulating energies, and I turned into a weasel to find the path, and then I got interested in this conversation and stopped being the weasel. It's like a shape thing. You're freaking me out. Don't look at
The
me
look
like
of his concern on his face is paramount. He looks towards you again, almost out of breath. But no, that is not the laws here. Here, you can see it. You can feel it.
See what? I can see darkness, and it's quite frightening.
Yes, that is it. There is no... It has been dulled. It has disappeared. magic itself is non-existent.
Should I try some more?
And he takes a step back. He's turned completely around now.
Something small, like a
Please.
smell, or
Please no. I am
has something happened to you when you've tried to do magic?
in my youth. I have performed magical ability.
How old are you?
I am
Not to be rude, of course.
no, not again. With your words and your question, I do not feel like you are being disrespectful.
You should when Sid speaks.
He looks a little bit. He looks a little bit peery at you now. Ah,
He's just a prankster.
That was a joke.
fair enough. I'm sorry, but my memory is not very good. I simply remember existing.
So when was your first memory of existing?
Lost count.
You
I
don't
am.
remember like your mom and dad?
Did you come through a portal?
It feels that way sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, you two share a lot.
You are aged as well.
Old as fuck.
Not
Yes.
that old.
Pretty old.
Not that old.
You
The
don't know.
last count,
You remember your life.
I'm older than the oldest elf you have met.
So you did come through a portal. Then how did you get here?
Again, I'm not sure. Perhaps it's this place. Perhaps it's this place manipulating my memory. I'm not sure. And that is what partly scares me here. I don't understand. I've tried to perform the simplest of tasks, and it has not come to fruition. The air itself is voided of magic.
Should I?
Why can you?
I'm not much of a magical
I don't know.
student, but perhaps one of the three here might.
I mean, I can just try and do something small.
Yeah, give it a crack.
Wow, it looks really weird under this cart that you just threw me under.
Fine, I can have a go, I guess.
No, I don't trust you.
I'm going to pull a seed pod out of my pocket, like I've done many a times, and place it in my hands and try and make it grow with Druidcraft. Just into a little flower.
Okay.
McKelly gave me bad idea look.
When you are trying to attempt to do that here,
It's cantrip, by the way.
yep,
I'm joking.
you see that indeed the result is as you expected. However, the feeling that you get as you call on this magic to flow through you, nothing happens. Your normal production of magic is nowhere. Although in front of you, it erupts as this cantrip should. But from where the magic came from, you don't know. Because it was not you.
That book we were reading.
Which one? Oh, the one back
Yeah.
the throne.
Well, you were reading. About
Yeah, I still got it.
extracting the magic from sources and using it for yourself. Those experiments. Maybe that's what happened here.
Perhaps. Have you heard of such a thing, Ron?
What is this?
Maybe you should show him.
The application of I guess de-enchanting something to use it on something else.
Maybe if this person succeeded, they succeeded with people too.
And I pull out the book and Have we stopped or are we still walking?
You've stopped now. He's very, very, very keen on looking at this. As he looks at this book, he holds his hand up. Please.
Perhaps we can sit down and read it together. At your
Well,
home.
normally I would say yes, but here, as you can see around you, everything is chaotic. Beautiful, but chaotic.
This must be your home.
Well, how far away is the bath?
A little further, if we sit, one never knows when one of this parts of stone bridge would float up into the air and perhaps catapult us into the depths.
Perhaps more of a reason to seek a safer path than read and stay here?
Well, yes, didn't you suggest sitting down?
Well, yes, at your home.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Maybe
of
I
course.
should pull a card here.
Yes.
Hmm,
Could see if it's evil or not.
this is significant.
That's right, it is.
I feel like I'm in space.
Card?
Yeah.
Well, please, if you feel like it will help.
Okay.
Are you doing so?
Like now?
No,
Pull out a card.
I'm gonna do it.
Go for it. Are you showing everybody?
Yeah, but after I look at it myself.
Okay.
You can keep speaking. Luda is standing there looking at her cards.
I'm more than happy to indulge you with the information, but perhaps we should not tarry here.
He's looking through the book as you're
I didn't
speaking.
even hand it to him.
You didn't hand it to him? Oh, sorry, apologies. I thought you
I thought
did.
you did.
Your magic
Sorry.
does work here.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just.
You said you come and go. How do you find your way back into this place once you've left?
I'm not sure. I simply... I don't know if it is magic that brings me here, certainly not my own. But wherever I go, apart from this place, there is magic. Magic abounds. I can perform tasks. And I can then think my way back here. But then when I'm here, I cannot magically appear elsewhere. It's here that this lack of life abides. He looks back expectantly at you, Lena.
You ever heard about deja vu?
I don't know.
Was that a joke?
No.
Oh. It's that like feeling that you've been here before, but you're not quite sure if you actually have. It's like familiarity. I've pulled this card before. This is the familiar. It's not necessarily good or bad. It's quite neutral actually. But it is like that weird feeling that you've kind of been here before.
Is that the one you pulled before the flaming corpse house?
No, that was the mistress.
Oh.
That was the one before the disappearing boy / murder wife,
Ah, that's right.
That's when we got that
It
again.
did end up being quite neutral.
plus raining drow bodies.
That's right.
That was,
Dead
that was,
turtles.
that was awful.
Mm.
No, but it wasn't all bad. You met almost the love of your life out of it.
Who's that?
Abigail.
Not Abigail. Not Abigail.
Horsey.
Not Horsey either.
I do like Horsey.
Anyway.
So it's a
You recall Sarah. You recall Sarah.
Wasn't Sarah the one who gave me Horsey?
No.
You've had
you
all
just took
people way
Horsey.
longer.
You just took Horsey.
Michaela's drinking his
Just
sadness away.
Arella.
Yeah, she babe.
Card love.
Mm. Who's the one with the pink hair?
We don't talk about her. She's terrible. We don't like her at all. And if we ever bring her up again, I will get angry.
There's a big abyss here. Maybe I should jump into.
Such neutrality.
Well, that wasn't the day I pulled that card, but thank you. That was the mistress day.
I have not heard of these cards. Are they significant?
To me.
fit me, yes, and apparently to not everyone. But yeah, to a lot of the population of Fair.
There, forgive me for not
Okay, you
not
live in this-
being aware. And
No.
beyond, my home is just this way. And he continues now to walk.
It's not a bad thing. It's neutral.
He seems alright.
Are you following him?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. As you continue your way forward, he continues to walk now, this time at pace. And you do keep up with him, but it does take some toll as you find yourselves looking left and right some more at this nothingness.
Is it like gravity free, like nothingness?
You feel like gravity is heavier where you are, but just beyond the bridge, trees are moving and floating, large boulders. You see houses that are just floating. You see also, you think you see an entire mountain just moving slowly from one side of the bridge to another.
I'm gonna take a petal off the flower, pop that into my pouch, and then throw the flower, yeet it into space.
Okay. It seems like for most of its journey, the gravity's normal. It gets tossed and it's a free flowing. But then when it hits the edge of the bridge and then afterward, just slow. And
Listen to it.
Cool. Do it.
And you continue to
Take a
walk
tinkle.
as you roll. Another untold amount of time passes. It's difficult to understand time here where there's no sun or moons to navigate, especially in a space where the stars are not familiar. And you find yourselves, all of a sudden, you saw for a moment the bridge continue on, down and winding in the distance, thousands and thousands of meters away. But then he stops and turns an invisible handle, which then becomes a door and opens. Right in front of you. And this door then enters into what looks like more of the bridge, and you can see the bridge continue. But then this door opens and there's a small home within. Looks like it is there is a set of stairs that lead up. You can't really tell how big or small this home is because there's only a door to show an entrance. But within it's quite warm.
How did you happen upon this house? You built it?
No. Like I said, the magic here is void. But it seems to also act sparks. I would probably put this to. Sparks of desperation. Every now and again, I see things occur in this space, like it's trying, like it's screaming out, like the very air and essence and minuscule hair is fighting to come back. But something has caused this to happen.
When's the last time you were on the surface of him?
Fairly recently,
Where did you go?
old Reki, to find any indication, understanding of this occurrence.
How long ago do you reckon that was?
A year? A year now. Anyway, please come in.
Before walking through,
Mm-hmm.
can I attempt to cast Fairy Fire where he grabbed with the invisible door?
Absolutely. You're trying to just see anything that's visible around?
Yes.
Yep.
In a 20-foot cube.
Sure. As you cast this spell, you have a feeling that the effect was successful. You thought about the spell, but immediately there was a block, and then it happened. And that production of magic didn't come from your own person, but you're not quite sure from where. As you cast it, you can see that this is a mansion of color and brightness and glittering. You can see it's 5 stories tall and a good 7 windows worth of rooms long on the sides. You can see there's a small gap between the side of the house and the edge of the bridge, just enough to fit past if you so wanted.
I'm gonna look at Sid and go.
It's quaint, really.
What?
It's all made of.
I'm like waiting for the. It's a joke.
I just stare at you like this.
You can see it's made of some sort of dark mahogany, and the windows are clear and pristine. And you can see the roof is flat from what you can from where your vantage point is, with a couple of chimneys depending on which room they're in. And you can see also that within the home, there's trees. The ceilings are very, very high, enough to fit quite large trees within.
I'm not sure we'll fit in here.
What?
Who owned this for you?
As you were walking in, he has walked in as well, or he's staying outside?
I walked
Walking. As you ask that question, he turns and says, I found no evidence of anything that would resemble a previous owner. Like I said, I feel this home is an example of someone or something, or even the future Vim itself, casting this to somehow bring magic back here.
No wonder you don't head up to the surface often. This place is massive.
Well,
Not really.
it is home. In my solitude, I feel it. I come to more of an understanding of what is around me.
There are misses in here.
Do you ever get claustrophobic?
No. In fact, outside is almost as comforting as in. It's warm, there's plenty of space.
Did I get you?
And no,
I'm still waiting for the punchline.
I live by myself.
Did I get you?
No, because it's not a joke.
It was a trick.
Is that a joke?
No, it was a trick. I tricked you. Uh-huh.
No, that is. Yes, it's very good.
Do we laugh on tricks as well?
It was like a prank.
I will when Goreslag sits on the bone.
As you walk in, you see carpeted floors. You see a table directly to the right of this room. To the left, you see a fireplace, which then, like an L shape, goes around the corner to an unknown seating area, which is then another sitting area with lounges and such. You see a staircase directly in front of you going up, and that's all you see initially. You see there's a wall beyond the table directly in front of you that you'd assume would lead to another room beyond. He sits at the head of the table and invites you to sit with him.
I'm gonna sit down.
I'll take it.
Sexy as well.
You sit on these tall, very cushiony, comfortable chairs, and
I
he.
sit cross-legged on the chair.
Okay. What is it that you seeked here? Be more specific. Did this giant task you with something in particular? This may help me, and this is why I ask. Help me understand what is supposed to be here, perhaps. What they are trying to find. If that is not too intrusive.
You ever been to Wove?
Whoa, I've heard of the city, but no.
Oh. Well, it's not very good anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not my city. But it was overrun by giants who had, I guess, been displaced thanks to a giant crack in the ground. Crack.
Didn't even have to ask.
And so they kind of took the place over, and they're very upset because a lot of their people are missing or dead. And then there was this weird skeleton with a heartbeat sitting around all this weird stuff. Anyway,
A skeleton with a heart.
beat. Not a heart necessarily, right, Hood?
No, it has a heart there. Well, a deal here is okay.
I'm sorry. You are Hood.
Yes.
It is a pleasure. And your name again?
Sid.
I'm Bell.
Velo and
Luna.
Luna, wasn't it? Yes, sorry. Thank you. Because of my memory, would it be okay if I wrote these names down and perhaps some of our conversation? Like I said, my age is getting the better of me, I think.
That's okay.
Yes. What's your name?
Rob.
Well, I forgot. I also know.
We share the same plight.
Can I roll inside to see who's lying?
I mean, I forgot and I'm old.
He takes out a book while you're doing that and while you're staring at Velo.
It's an 18.
Yeah, I forgot and I'm
Yeah,
old.
100%.
Those two things might not be related.
Did you actually forget?
Yeah.
Did Sheldon forget?
Who knows? No, I definitely.
Yeah. He takes out a small leather book and with a quill and an ink, and he just starts to write your names down on a piece of paper. They, you don't really see the number, but it's quite long. And then you see met this, and then listing the names.
Can I look at his handwriting and see if it matches that of the book from the skeleton table?
Sure, make a perception check for me.
No.
No, he sort of has it a little bit angled, and he has his writing. He's not flat on the table. It's hard to see. What he's what that looks like.
Let's get back to dicking around, looking at other shit.
Okay,
So you've been hit for aeons. Literal.
long time.
Did you craft these aeons yourself?
Aeoncraft. Get your t-shirt. Buy that.
I'm sorry,
That's exactly what I was plugging right then.
I'm not understanding, but I've lived here. It hasn't changed. Therefore, I would assume that whatever is fighting against this void of magic is doing something right. Or if it is just simply at an impasse. But
Oh no.
what's that?
He rolled a d12 instead
My
of a
my
d12.
my,
roll
perce-
again.
my perception is just as bad as Sid's.
Roll again. Well, obviously you're rolling directly, so roll again.
Yeah. 11.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Still a little.
I'll go back to not paying attention to anything.
I live here because I have a need to make sure that nothing here will be a danger to Vim. This is what I gather to be the future of Vim.
Have you seen how it ends?
And I see how it continues, and it is not a world that people are able to live in.
How many people have you met? Come through here or stayed here? And do they live in here with you?
No. They move on. I show them the way out. They go back to their homes. 3 groups, including yours?
Do you remember their names?
I have it here somewhere. He sort of flips back. Why is that? Would you maybe know them?
Well, we could maybe talk to them about their experiences as well when we go back.
Well, if you do find them, Ariluna,
How do I spell that?
Arinula, Paraluna is. She came with Yolmero. They were a pair. They were here. They were the first.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hemnil. Hemnill is what I found. And Aulim. Aulim. And Ilieva.
Did you learn anything about them and where they were from?
It was odd. Yolmero said, and Aranula said that they would return. They had other business. It was odd. They said that their business was beyond here. I don't really understand what that meant. Whether that is back in Vim or somewhere close by. Whether they wanted to explore more of this. I was cautioning them against it. Only I feel, though I've not met anyone else. I've mapped out this place a little, but it's always unknown. This bridge itself, in parts, has disappeared entirely. So I'm cautioning you now. Do not traverse here without me.
Okay. Anything else that you learned?
The other group
Of interest?
seemed more lost. A little like yourselves. Hemnil, Aulim, Iliova, they found themselves here, close by, and they had fear in their eyes. I couldn't really see who they were, as in their races. They all seemed wanting to be hidden from me. I don't know why. I explained the magic to them, they seemed unfazed. Perhaps it was just that they themselves don't use magic, so they were not alarmed.
Whereabouts in Vim were they from, did they say?
No. Although, one said, Yolmero said, near Old Reki. That's all I found. Near Fort Okiv, actually, was more accurate. Where the span divides the continents. That was Yolmero. But they hardly spoke. They simply asked questions of me. They were respectful, therefore I was respectful back. They seemed lost, so I helped.
Have you ever met any hostility out here?
Nothing. And no creatures. No creatures. I would have assumed here there would have been, again, other lost creatures, but none. They seem to avoid this place. Most likely because they may not be able to survive without their magics, especially the Fae. Can you imagine a Fae creature here without magic? It would be untold. They would be defenseless. That is all they know.
Like a fortress of solitude against the Fae.
Such, I guess. Would that be a benefit?
Depends who you are.
Yeah, you've obviously spent a lot of time out here and seen maybe a lot of shifts in Vin. How do you feel about the Fae?
I know here they would be powerless. Probably the only place in Vim that one like them would be caught unawares. If they didn't know about this place, which I assume they would. They would have plentiful knowledge of this place, which is why they may avoid it, which is why I have not seen them.
You didn't answer my question.
Which was?
How do you feel about the Fae?
I have personally not encountered any. I hear in Vim they are fairly secretive, hard to find. Though they do
We've met a few.
a few.
Yeah.
He seems genuinely shocked. A few? More than one?
Yeah.
Like 5.
I think that might be an exaggeration.
May I ask, what were their intentions?
Well, one of them just wanted to be friends. It's a
The
little
other
fairy.
4 like wanted to hurt us.
No.
They
there
were
was
hostile.
No. There was another one that wasn't hostile.
Yes, that's true. The first one just wanted us to find a rebel king. Kill him.
What?
Mouse king.
No.
Sisters to share.
Fine.
Yeah, glitter fuckers.
I'm glad the part wasn't so hostile though. It's just annoying.
Were there any that were hostile?
I mean,
The Fey touched. That were pretty hostile.
Ah, Bay Touch I've heard of. You can't trust their other side. Whether human, dwarf, elf. That is what I've heard that hostility comes from. For all the stories that I've been given, they are docile and secretive.
I feel like that's a pretty good description.
Yeah. You ever heard of Onfo Shen?
Unfoshin. Wait, and he sort of flips back a few pages over and over and over again. He sort of points to a page. Well, I haven't written here. But
Anything else, or just the name?
Have you met him?
I must have, but I don't recall. Why would I have it written here? And he sort of opens up, shows you. There's a couple of words there. Unfoshen and the mask. Question mark, question mark. After
In the
that,
cell.
a cell. Is that not a landmark in there?
It's in Terran.
Yes. Yes, it's coming back to me a little. There's something that's going on there. And other places. Something that's tying what's happening here. Why is my memory... And he sort of leans back a little bit, stretches. Please, 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 please remember.
Can I guide him?
I suspect it.
Vargas, right?
Yes.
Did you want to guide and Bardic, or do you want to do just
Yeah.
one? I guess you both just... Yeah?
I'll be like a pseudo psychic going. Remember.
I'll
Remember.
Okay.
Pat on the shoulder.
Sure. All right. Okay, and was that a D6?
So yeah.
Rope toss him.
That was in total a 13.
Boo!
Yeah, I rolled a 7 on the D20. There is a connection. There's something that's happening in Vim. Disappearances?
Yeah.
Is that... Have you found...
Possessions?
Have you... Pardon?
And possession?
Possessions. I've not heard of possessions, but I think we're getting somewhere.
Exorcism and stuff.
What?
Yeah.
One of the reasons why the giant sent us here. Apparently, a lot of his kind disappeared from a city under the mountain here.
But aren't giants large, very large creatures?
Yeah.
That's why I asked about the cloud giants as well. There's only one of them left here in Bim now.
One. I'm not sure how common they should be, but I'll be back in a moment. And he gets up off his chair and goes around that wall, the half
Can I look
wall.
through your book while you're gone?
You don't hear a reply. A moment passes though only, and he brings out what looks to be a platter of foodstuffs, fruits, mostly fruits, but a lot of them are old. Still edible, but just. Though you know those apples that seem to have that, not the crunch, but just after that crunch, that chewiness to them. It's wrinkled. They're really, really wrinkled apples. but they're still edible. And he puts them on the plate on the table with. Also, he goes away, comes back with what looks to be a platter of water as well in cups. And as he serves it out, he says, "I'm sorry. A lot of this might be disturbing to read. I don't know."
Hard to disturb.
That sound, he looks towards you a little. Very well. Some of these things I've written in my own thoughts. So please don't take offense.
Okay.
And he hands you the book.
I'm gonna start looking through it
Okay.
and looking for anything familiar.
Yep.
Like any names that are like super underlined or anything like that. I just made it right. I don't need to roll.
Yeah, correct. So as you continue reading, initially nothing takes you by surprise or is familiar to you, so you keep going. Make me an investigation check while that's happening.
I'm gonna guide myself.
Would it have been possible when Roll left the room to look over at Val and go, anything going on with the old man in the necklace?
I'm gonna rest my hand on the necklace.
Very light. As though you're just discovering it anew. Only when you concentrate on it and you hold your hand to it do you feel a just that never-ending thumping. Light. As though it has heard your request and has dulled itself down only until the moments where you are really wanting to hear it.
I'm gonna really concentrate on it. I'm gonna think. I think I might leave you here.
Okay. As you say or think that in your mind, you hear or feel, are you still having the hand on there? It quickens. And your chest starts to have those tremors within it. There's a quickening of the beat.
Oh,
Just going arrhythmic.
Velo has a heart attack in bed.
What did you get for your investigation?
14.
All right. You flip through more. Still nothing. There are 1,000 pages though, and the writing is small. And some of them, a lot of them are just observations about their surroundings, discoveries about the trees, trying to understand what the trees are that are floating in the midair. Every page, there's a different tree. Every page, there's a description, a drawing. There's just pages of a drawing of the sky that you've seen around you, that you've familiarized yourself with. Even sometimes there's a little bit of color as well that's coming from them. A lot of it about that void of magic, where and questions rather than answers. Who's caused it? Where did it go? Why does it seem like this is the future Vim?
Yeah.
And you keep going.
Is he back? He's with us now. Right?
He's with you now.
Might we impress upon you a night's rest here?
Of course. There are rooms here. They're ready. I prepare in case there are travelers.
As he's talking, I'll pull out the book that I got, and perhaps a good opportunity for you to read over this as we rest.
Yes, thank you. Are you okay if I note the words down in my own book?
No issue with it.
Thank you. It might shed more light as to what's going on.
Are you aware of where you found us?
No. When I walk, it seemed to be simply happenstance that I find a door. I somewhat know where it is in Vim, but only vaguely. And then here they are. Where did you come from?
We were below Wove,
Ah,
and
so you have come directly from the city?
yes.
there.
We're investigating a large chasm that happened there. A big shift.
Like
Split the city into.
earthquake.
I'd imagine so, yes.
Crack in the earth.
Right.
Fissure, one might say.
Was it as large as a fissure?
Mm.
Well, I did not feel it here.
Murder Fisher.
But if you were investigating this, and then there are disappearances of giants, perhaps their disappearances are also connected.
We would think so.
They've sent people after them and they can't find them.
We've also seen disappearance of people in the town of Zanillo, east of Aldraki.
Disappearances?
Yeah, one before our very eyes.
They simply vanished. Well, I'm
They
not...
took them.
Well, the Fae took one. There's also a possessed child who had Sylvan writing underneath his bed. Seems to be connected with this Honfo Shan.
I would imagine that visiting this mask might shed more answers. Perhaps. But you're saying that this city just had this large gash within it.
How dare you? How dare you?
That would be correct, yes.
Let me see.
Yeah.
How did it take you that long to clean?
I would imagine I did not feel anything here. So... my only suggestion and ask of you, and I have asked this of the other sets of travelers that were here. I think Vim eventually, as you saw outside, is destroyed. Well, it's there, but the magic is gone. I don't see how the Fae can survive the magic, and if the Fae can't survive a void of magic, then I wonder what has caused it, and also how to get it back.
No,
Does the void get stronger in any one
age
place?
before beauty.
No, not that I've felt. Should I have felt it? I'm not sure.
So it just stops right at the gateway.
Yes.
When you've exited here, have you ever ended up near the Nose Tip Mountains in Elcor?
Not yet. I'm assuming that will happen one day. Why is that?
Heard that there's a void beneath the mountains there. Not sure how similar it is to this place. Or if
Perhaps
it's
the
same
doorway here?
place.
Perhaps the doorway here, I'm not sure. Perhaps I can write, or let you know if I find out.
The Fae are afraid of it, aren't they?
Well, the information was that the Fae didn't want people to know about these places.
Well, perhaps that does ring true then. If the Fae know about this place, then of course they would not want the peoples to enter, because then they would have no jurisdiction, no power over them.
What of the gods? Do you believe in them?
At this point, his eyes widen greatly, and he just goes back to his book and just starts writing. Doesn't answer the question at all.
Vin initially was where a lot of refugees came, right? Through all the portals. Because all of their worlds were falling apart or they needed to flee from them, right? What if this was only supposed to be a temporary solution? What if Vim was only ever supposed to be just a stop along the way?
Begs the question. I don't believe you've come across any other worlds, have you? Just other entry points into Vim.
Nothing going out, just coming in. Even now, when I went to Old Reki a year ago, there was still a portal or two that opened just outside. More people's coming through. It's very rare now that would happen. But it does seem to be still occurring.
How long ago?
A year?
Correct me. As far as I know, it's been over 100 years since the last portals came through.
Not that I've seen.
Where did the last portal come from?
I didn't have time to answer it, or ask the question. They were warforged.
How many?
Hundreds. And then the portal suddenly closed on them, and the people who had come through were panicking. Unsure about why the portal simply vanished. Through the portal I saw fire. Destruction.
What about the one before that?
And that one was Azuma. An Azuma group.
Did they mention what was?
And they simply mentioned... They mentioned earthquakes, actually.
Have you ever been to High Vantage?
I've heard, but not been.
What have you heard?
Well, a plethora of beautiful mountaintops floating above the earth. Alanorian mountains. A storm front. I guess storm front I hear rule. It's a fairly peaceful, beautiful city. Is all this true? And why do you ask?
I don't know, your timeline doesn't seem to match up. You seem to have grabbed events from over the course of 100 years and speak of them as though they're all happening simultaneously.
Is the High Vantage not...
It's still there.
Oh, okay.
What if he's not though?
You mean the portals or something else?
Portals, yes.
Well, I swear, I've timed it. My pages will tell you. Been simply a year. I had assumed that they are still opening. But if what you say is true, then they are simply still happening, just not within the sight of most peoples.
Are you aware that people on the surface of Vim aren't allowed to worship their own gods?
He looks back at you, Hood, and back at you, Luna. Please. Yes, I am aware. I would ask that conversation...
Oh, I don't want to make it a conversation. That was just a question.
Are we not safe to talk out loud here?
No, I will tell you this now, you're not. I don't know what this absence is. So, I don't know if the cause is within earshot, or if it is long since dead. So I would simply just ask that we keep that sort of language at a minimum.
May I read your book overnight?
That's fine.
I must admit, it's been a long day, and thank you for the food, but I would really like a bath.
There are baths. I did promise that, and you do have them. One in each room. Feel free. The water is hot, and it is fresh.
Well, let's maybe all get some rest, yourself included, and we can maybe talk about this in the morning.
All right. That's fine. Get yourself some rest.
Or like when we wake up, considering there's no sun.
I can offer fresh clothes as well if you would like. I can wash yours.
Yes.
Just leave your clothes out of the door as you change,
That would be lovely, thank you.
and I will have them washed.
Could you wash his twice?
I can.
I had a rather unfortunate accident with a bath.
Your own?
No.
Someone else's.
Oh,
I'm sure Sid will fill
I-
you in about it.
I
I'll
completely.
stay up and tell you about it.
We respect any interest that you might have.
It was forced upon me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Stop. No. No more butt joke.
I'm so sorry.
Michaela's red.
I will not speak of it anymore unless you would like to.
Sid will.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase. I do not want to hear about it. Well,
Then let me show you, and I'll rub my fleece and create a minor illusion of that scene.
okay. As it's on the table, I'm assuming.
I am gonna go find somewhere to bathe.
Well, he does direct you upstairs and to the right and left. So you head off, okay? And you're staying to watch the
I
scene.
watch it, and then once I've seen it, I'm like, gross. I go,
Okay.
Yeah. See, this is what we all saw.
And at that point, I think is when I might have died. I'm not sure.
You're welcome.
I didn't go to heaven though.
He looks at you in wonder as you're doing it. He's not really looking at the scene, but he's looking at you and saying, "You made this.
Yeah.
How are you all doing this?
I'm not doing anything.
I need you to make me an insight check now."
Why does no one care I'm dying here?
17.
A 17. I will send you
Minus
something.
1.
I'm gonna send you something.
He's gonna send you something.
Dick pics.
I hate this place.
Minor illusion this.
I don't have major illusion.
There you go.
Times it for a million.
And as the illusion finishes, what are you doing, Hood?
I'm commenting on the scene.
All right. The scene's gone at that point.
What does he look like?
He looks genuinely fearful towards you, Sid.
Oh, okay. You don't have to worry. It's just an illusion. It's not real.
That is the point. This requires magic, and it is sucked from the very air around us.
I wonder if I can do something then.
And I'll use prestidigitation to make sparks come out of his hands.
He sort of looks up and aghast at this as well. Have you been able to do magic before?
No, never.
Perhaps it's best for you to rest. I need to think this over. I need
That's
to
cool.
understand it.
I want to go outside and practice that now.
No, please. Please.
Go to bed, cat.
if you wish, but just be cautious. If it's the first time, I don't know what effect it would have.
Okay. I'll go bathe.
Dead effect.
And then I'll take my leave from the conversation. Is there like a library or anything here?
You asking?
That I can just see, like a bookshelf?
No.
Have you got any reading material here?
Reading material. Just my book. Nothing interesting. You don't collect things like that when you're here.
I thought the books would be your friend out here. You don't talk to anybody.
The wonders of future Vim are.
Scary.
Well, they take up my time with research.
Yes.
Will I wake you? When and if I find anything or remember anything? Or will I let you sleep?
Only after 8 hours.
If it's important, then yeah. If it's something that can wait until the morning, then yeah, we can speak then.
Fair enough. Well, enjoy.
Where's the bath?
He leads you upstairs, where you each are given a room. As you enter these rooms separately, you find that in front of you is a small bath, a freestanding, with already what seems to be water from an unknown location that has that's being poured in, or at least as you walk in, the taps turn on and it does start to flow through. And it's hot. It's nice. and he leaves you be, as it's simply a bed and a bath. And if you wanted to, there is also a small wardrobe that does seem to have a couple of different sizes of a couple of different generic looking either tunics and pants fit for any gender, some dresses, some suits of different sizes and shapes and colors, all very neutral though, grays, whites and blacks. And you, if you want to, those who want to, leave your clothes out and bathe. There are scented soaps as well that you do take in and bathe yourself. And as you eat the soap,
Wash your mouth out.
you finish these baths. Are you doing anything between there and a long rest?
I'd like to sleep for 4 hours because I'm an elf. And then I would like to spend my remaining 4 hours reading the book, specifically looking for, and not like reading like page by page, but like sort of thing, anything that mentions the portals, and like what type of people come through and when, anything sus, any names I recognize.
Make another investigation.
I'm gonna guide myself again.
Go for it, Hood.
I think I've got it in my inventory, but I don't actually think I have it on me. So you need to remind me. The chest. Can I investigate that again in this non-magical place?
Is that the heavy chest?
The one that we got from, well, I think so. Same
It's in
thing.
yellow. You, well, it sounded like the last time you had it, it was in the cart.
Yeah.
I believe you might have left it in the cart, just because of it. It is very hefty.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to go back through everything we've done and just roll a couple
I'll
of
come back in a minute. Roll one moment. I can navigate my way back. It's fine. No, I'm probably just gonna retire, to be honest.
Straight to bed.
From adventuring?
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight to bed.
All right.
Yeah, I'll have my 4 hours, and I will probably just look through that Wonders of Vim book and try and decipher ingredients that go together well.
All right. Cooking related ingredients?
Yeah, that and just noodling on the loot.
Sure.
Yes.
Noodling.
There is a particular combination which you haven't seen yet, which is a specialty of the Riverlands, specifically the Slug of Lock.
Slug of Lock.
It's a lock slug.
The Lock Slug,
Monster.
when fried with serve herb, serve herb, salt and pepper, can make a particularly decadent dish. That's the only real new recipe you flick through and see you haven't seen before.
Oh, cold finger.
As you flick through, what was your investigation check?
17.
Okay. You flick through and you do find, after a couple of hours of just perusing it, towards the end and at the end of your long rest, which you do all get, and you all regain your hit points, and you all regain your spells.
I don't get up until I hear other people moving.
You don't yet then. You see one excerpt that said, Aeoncraft, thank
Oh, Ironcraft. Thank you.
Get your shit.
you.
Get your AM shit.
You see one excerpt that says, Day 774. Why are they here?
Yeah.
I did what they asked, and they returned still. keep checking on me. I thought I had helped them enough. They continue to demonstrate their potential on me. I am failing. And that's it.
You're not there. Interesting.
And you all awaken. There doesn't seem to be a difference in light. That same pinky, dark light from outside your windows continues, and the space around you continues to be leaden. Your sleep was odd. You, Velo in particular, did have a long rest and you did regain your strength, but for this quickening beat that now seemed like it was always there.
I'm gonna rest my hand on it and I say, I'll make you a new deal. Free me and I'll carry you safely from this place.
Sounds like a threat.
The beating stopped.
Stop beating if you agree.
Nothing, no beat reoccurs. No thumping comes back.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna get up and get dressed.
Anything in particular you're all doing as you wake up?
Definitely getting dressed.
Mhm.
Yeah, checking out the new clothes.
Mhm.
Take something grey.
Yep. You find a particularly light, say, fairly nice, tight-fitting, almost robe with like a belt, like a black belt that will go around it, with, and then the bottom looks like a bit of a dress
I'm not
cloak.
wearing pants.
Hmm?
I'm not wearing pants.
Yeah, cool. It goes down to your knees,
Yeah.
and your tail sort of swifts back and forth behind you.
Not with pants on. Is there anything that's in there that would suggest someone lived here?
Looking through the cupboard or just the room in general?
Just the room in general, yeah. It's kind of like have a fuss.
Investigation check.
That's not great. It's in that one. So,
Yeah, you're right. It's not great.
and a total of 5 if that does anything better.
For a moment, there's a space in between a couple of, like there's a dress there, there was, and then there was something else, and then there was a suit. Something is missing. And you figure you're wearing it.
Well,
Yeah.
minor stroke there.
I'm gonna wear my non-fancy clothes that I've been carrying all along.
And outside your doors are your clean clothes.
I'm gonna put on my black robes. They seem more fitting for this place.
I'm going to pick up mine, take a deep thank God.
They are very clean, without a speck of indication that there was ever crap.
Is there any scent or anything on it?
Nothing.
Just clean smell.
Clean smell.
Clean smell.
Yep. And then an echo suddenly, just softly, but enough for the rooms to have this voice move through. How did the water become hot?
Is that
Everyone hears that question.
can I see anyone else that's come out of their room, or am I in a separate?
You're all in separate rooms, and you're all still within.
Did I recognize the voice?
It sounds a little bit like Roll, but something's off. I don't know, it's almost like it's a little bit deeper.
I'm just gonna head on out to find him.
Okay.
I,
As you walk out, seems quite empty.
Roll.
do I would probably leave the room too, suspecting Rolls would be in the vicinity to say that.
There's no one, and
I guess we all walk out,
Yep.
converge in the hallway.
Did anyone else hear that?
How's the water getting hot?
Hey, what day was the last entry of that book?
It was 744 from my memory.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just double checking. Make sure our numbers are not the same.
Why do you ask?
I'll just show the passage.
What date is on the passage?
774. 30 days later.
Now that I've looked at both books, does the handwriting look similar?
ah, yes.
Perhaps our forgetful friend is the same one who wrote the book that I gave to him.
Cool. He's gonna suck all of our powers out.
How did the water become hot for your baths?
I'm glad I don't have any power. Oh wait, I learned the sparky thing last night.
Probably magic, I would say.
Magic. Correct.
But the real question is, how did you get these clothes smelling so good?
The voice continues. One and the same.
No.
Simple. Is it not? Not? So, here you bear witness. Please, see outside the convergence in all of its glory.
What does he mean?
Is there a window nearby?
Out from outside your room, you don't see a window. You see the stairs that lead down into that dining room that you were in, with the doors then just beyond. But you don't see any windows, close windows from here on this level.
Just a technical question, because we've changed some things. Are we still in our armor and stuff?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'll collect up my gear then. God, I hope this isn't some other stupid thing that's about to happen to us.
No, I think it was really nice last night.
Yes, but this all feels a little ominous now.
I mean, it felt ominous when we literally entered Warrior. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna also gather my things and head downstairs.
I'll do the same.
Mhm.
I'll open the front door and look outside. Because I would like to see the convergence, whatever that is. What do I see?
As you walk out, are you all following as well?
I'm not necessarily walking out, I'm just opening the door.
Are you opening the door? Right. Okay.
Is roll around?
You don't see Roll until you open the door, Valo.
On the way
Yep.
to the door, you might want to tuck an object that was created by a wish spell under those clothes. It's probably going to make you a target for someone who wants to suck magic out of items.
Look down. I made a deal that last night, that in hindsight probably wasn't great.
Oh well.
As
Well,
you,
I mean, I don't know anything.
You've
from
had a
magical,
good
so
life.
Maybe I'll be okay here.
Up until recently, yes.
And as he says that, I'll cast Prestidigitation and make sparks come out of his hands.
they appear.
Let's go into the side. Like, shooting off
You
like a
almost
bad
feel like you
mother.
jump a little bit from the
I
power.
hate this.
As you open the door, Velo, you do see through the little gap in the door outside, about 35, 40 feet away. There's Roll. But he is gagged with a rope that's through his lips and kneeling, looking very downtrodden. Behind him are about 5 beings, black cloaks, familiar black cloaks. Only the bottom half of their face is able to be seen, pale as pale, with fangs coming down their faces and flesh looking like it's either burnt off the bone or just melting off. You can see flesh underneath the skin, thin faces.
Almost like someone you set on fire.
Mm.
And the voice seems to be coming from all of them. You are here, final. We needed witnesses. Please come forward and see what we have done.
What are you gonna do to him?
If we don't witness, will you just not do what it is?
How to be a piece of shit by... I nearly said Rourke.
That's fair. As you're watching, you see the space around you change. The bridge becomes grass, and grass continues beyond what was the chasm into simply plains of grass. Familiar territory, as though you're back on Vim, as though you're simply in a farmland, not far from Ruwo, where the farmland and the spectacle with the necklace occurred. You see lights coming from a distant town. You look back, and you're not looking through a door anymore, but you are in the open. But you see the same 5 figures, unchanged, and Roll just downtrodden, bound by his hands behind him, kneeling, head down, breathing heavily. And then you see the bridge again, and space, and then you see Vim again, and then they start to simply, as you blink, change. And you hear them chant. Which you understand.
So,
As you hear them chanting, let there be no light, let all the dark abide, everything does change when all the eyes doth flame. And over this repeats as the scenes change back and forth from the bridge and the space to Vim as you know it now. You can see beneath you the grass start to wilt. Everywhere your eyes can see, the wind shifts and picks up. It picks up more and more. Velo. The deal breaks, it seems, as this piece of jewelry around your neck just becomes hysterical, and it beats and beats against your chest over and over and over. It continues on and on and on, and you look down and you feel that there is blood that is being spilt from this open wound in the chest as you feel all the wind batter and barge, and you see clouds swiftly, faster than you've ever seen them before, just roll over the sky, completely blotting out any moons, any suns, any stars that ever existed. And you see them descend, and you hear just this moan and screams almost from beneath you as you notice that the earth itself seems to move and shift more, as though another earthquake is about to explode around you and underneath you. The trees, wherever you see them, wither and die, just clatter to the ground. The moans of the mountains to your left in the distance just echo around, and you can see these beings start to rise, these 5 beings, and fall. And you can see the space again come back and shift back into Vim. And in front of you, a sigh. As the wind dies. And then this creature simply appears before you. Once colorful, flittering pinks and blues and greens. The very first Fae you met.
Yes.
Looks at you all. But this color has faded from her. And she simply falls and hits the ground where the wilted grass touches her. And as you look down and as she looks up toward you with these blinking, wavering eyes, it's all gone. The magic is gone. Everywhere. Everything. Nothing is left. And that's what we're on it tonight.
Do we clap? Like, what happened
Yeah.
here?
Hey, I'm gonna have to go to bed after this, and you just rev me all up.
Why revving us
I was
up?
worried you hurt yourself. You smacked yourself real hard.
Look, I do it for love and the effect that it would have. You know, I hope that it.
Did you get my message?
Yeah,
I
it
did
worked.
get your message.
Is that what
Actually,
you're organizing
I
right?
did. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm organizing.
Was that chorus?
Huh?
Was that chorus?
No, that
Glue
was
Part's dead.
glue
Oh,
part.
good part.
That was
Oh,
glue
there we go.
Paddle.
So, Sid doesn't need to continue the campaign anymore. His goal's done.
Hey everybody, that's it for us for this evening. Don't go anywhere. We're going to raid a channel at the Kilobits, who's doing some D&D stuff. So don't go anywhere. We got this amazing giveaway from Aeoncraft going on, the Classical Love t-shirt. So we've posted it on Twitter. So thank you very much.
Live now.
It's live, so get your code word that you heard in the middle of the stream in there as the second entry, and watch a bit of the Kilobits. See what he's up to. Looks like he's reading through some awesome content, but that's it from us for this evening. So I'm going to start the raid, and we'll see we'll see how we go.
Right.
Have an amazing evening. We'll see you all next week, and enjoy. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Please react. I just want someone to react.